like a classic shit show, and today's story is exactly that. The game we're talking about is Mind's Eye, and it has not had the nicest launch. It's at 38% positive reviews in Steam. It's also the worst reviewed game of the year in Metacritic, so that's quite lovely. It's got hideous bugs, atrocious AI behavior, mission design that completes itself, which is really bizarre, and it's a game that has disappointed for countless reasons. But behind this launch, there's something stranger, and that's why we're talking about it today. That's because management has blamed all the negativity on paid actors. Yes, on paid actors. There's a previous project that never released. There are bizarre funding decisions, sudden layoffs, and stories of leadership disconnected from reality. So, at the very least, it'll be a fun listen. Builder Rocket Boy's debut title wanted to ride several different trends. The game's called Mind's Eye, and it promised a single-player experience in a new, original setting where players would get a thrilling story of corporate espionage, a whole bunch of big, brainy questions, technology versus human skill. You'd get third-person shooter gameplay, the sort of thing you'd maybe expect from a Sony first party. So, you can see how that all kinda lines up. But there's a little bit of a problem. Mind's Eye basically doesn't deliver on any of that promise. You can see the endless streams of just bland gameplay videos to prove it. You can see buggy footage. And, well, the development studio, Builder Rocket Boy, they absolutely knew this one would not be good. That's because no review copies were there before launch. That's a very well-known red flag, but actually props to them. Builder Rocket Boy weren't happy with just that red flag, so they created a new one. Getting paid gameplay streams, right, on deck for launch, and then cancelling said paid gameplay promotion streams. Co-Carnage's was pulled just as he went live. So basically, that's kind of like anti-publicity for your own game. Impressive. After that then came the death knell. PlayStation began issuing refunds. And that's a rare enough thing, and if it sounds familiar, well, those were the exact same circumstances as with Cyberpunk 2077's console launch. Back then, of course, the CDPR executives tried to hide that. They, I guess, hoped things would magically work out. Obviously they didn't, and it's the same story here. Now, the developers have said that they're heartbroken, and you know what? I can actually understand that. I mean, if you're rank and file on that team, it's probably been a shit show from when you started up to now, and what is your, big light at the end of the tunnel? Turns out it's not the escape from the tunnel, it's an oncoming train that you can't escape. Now, they have promised action here. There are fixes for the largest crash, apparently memory leaks were to blame. There's a notorious CPR minigame that is being made easier, but to just cut through it all, honestly, I do not think that this stuff will be enough. I just can't see a cyberpunk-style redemption here. A lot of that's because of the underlying, I guess, situation with the game, and another part of it is down to just how goddamn sketchy this whole thing has been. Now, hang on a second. There's something that's really annoying that's actually getting way worse. And that is data breaches. As an example, your telecom provider being hacked. That happened to me with BT. That's who my family had as their ISP, so this stuff happens all the time. And it's why I use today's sponsor, Incogni, because Incogni is our way to fight back. You see, when data leaks, right, data brokers harvest it and then they sell it on. So you ever wonder, how do spam callers even get your number in the first place? It's actually often that. And the good news is that Incogni solves this problem by automating the legal work that you would otherwise have to do, meaning those rights that you have are actually accessible. And if you join at incogni.com/BellierNews, you'll get 60% off an annual plan. And here's how it works. You enter your info. And there you go. It works. It's kind of wild, right? It's literally that easy. You've got a legal right to get your data taken down, but the takedowns take hours and it's also not permanent. In Cogni, once you've added your details, it just automatically scans the brokers, it sends takedown requests, and it adds you to the suppression lists. And it does it all automatically, and they constantly rescan so your data is actually kept down. Just take a look here on my dashboard. You can see all the things they've sent, the ones that are in progress, the completed takedowns. It's well over 100, almost 200 now, and I'm on loads of suppression lists. And in a world where, like, the AI data scraping is actually getting way worse, things like this are even more important. It's a good peace of mind. At incogni.com/BellierNews, you get 60% off the annual plan, so check them out using my link today. Hearing what you've heard so far, it may come as a bit of a surprise that people were actually pretty excited for this game, or at the very least interested. And they cared for two broad reasons, right? One was a promise, the other one was a name. Now, the promise was basically simple, and I'll quote it. A meaningful, well-paced, well-constructed story. One that you could immerse yourself in, one that was free from open-world bloat, no endless live services. Basically, all that good stuff. The sorts of things that basically a lot of us will say, yes, I would like that because it all sounds good. Now, the reason that promise had weight is the second thing. Leslie Benzies, who is the former president of Rockstar North. Now, he produced GTA 3 through to GTA 5. That also includes games like, say, Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, pretty goddamn incredible stuff. And when he left Rockstar, he actually took teammates with them. And it was a real ugly circumstance. Basically, there was a $150 million lawsuit. Kind of crazy. So you got a lot of drama, you got a big name, and a big name that's connected to a lot of good games that people really loved. And all of that going towards a linear AAA action game, seemingly from the 2010s golden era, and one being made by someone who claims credit for that genre's very best. And you know what? Games like Space Marine 2 kind of just proved that this formula can still work. It's a game that captured that throwback feel perfectly, so that's kind of what they wanted to do here. And to further those chances, there are a few other good things that were counting for it. So first, $60. That's a pretty good price point for a AAA, especially in the modern market. And also, well, IO Interactive even backed it. That's the same IO Interactive behind the beloved Hitman games. So they actually chose this as their first published title. They're pretty well respected. So all of that looked fairly good. But then, time kept ticking. The release approached, and that's when things got really weird. Before previews started to roll in, we saw Discord messages from co-founder Mike Gerhard that claimed that all the negative criticism was in fact paid. Yes, it's all just their ex-employer Rockstar paying people to be nasty. And when a content creator challenged him, he walked it back to a, quote, concerted effort using bots. So that was a bit of a PR, shoot yourself in the foot. Now, what then followed was the chief legal officer leaving weeks before the game's launch. Then also the chief financial officer left. That's all not great, and maybe those things are not red flags purely in isolation, but in overall context, absolutely rats leaving a sinking ship. And with all that in mind, today's events make complete sense. There is blood in the water, absolutely, and audiences do love watching games fail. And look, the media can be absolutely a blood sport, but in this case, it's them failing, it's an implosion, but more importantly, it's when it feels deserved that it matters. It's when it feels deserved that, well, the media is sort of helping to make the industry better by actually providing negative incentives for doing bad shit. So, when it feels deserved, when leadership acts weird about criticism, saying that it's paid and that it's bots, well, that sets up a villain story fantastically. So for the people who were following all of this drama, basically just waiting for the big event to happen, they absolutely got what they wished. But of course, some people had actually been skeptical about Build a Rocket Boy for years. I talked about a dead project, so let's get into that. Mind's Eye is not this studio's first thing. In fact, far from it. The public first heard about them in Gamescom 2022, and that's when they showed off Everywhere. Everywhere was, quote, a multi-world game experience that blurs reality and digital worlds. Which, sounds ambitious. So the Mind's Eye tease was hidden inside that trailer. And that's because Everywhere was actually a game creation tool, one built inside an MMO open world. Now, people assumed that it was NFT or blockchain, but it turned out it was just content creation tools. And the plan, basically, is that Mind's Eye would be episodic, that it would be built using those tools, and it would be available as an experience inside the overarching game called Everywhere, which very obviously did not happen. So what ended up happening? Where is Everywhere now? Build a Rocket Boy told VGC that they've, quote, taken it dark, which I basically read as just putting it on the back burner because it evidently was not going in a direction where they could, well, launch the overall vision that they had. Now, they do have a new plan, and it's one that does sound quite familiar. It's polish everywhere. It's to standardize the tools against Mind's Eye's launch version and then to relaunch. And with all this, beta tests ran for years. Now I guess those tools do live inside Mind's Eye. Within it, players can make their own experiences. They can publish them for others. You've got a trailer calling it democratizing game development, which is neat, but it's also not really new. I mean, did you play Time Splitters when you were a kid? I did, and Time Splitters was kind of doing this 25 years ago. But obviously doing that with today's level of fidelity, right? The sharing capabilities that we've got, yeah, it does appear to be much better. So you can still see the overarching vision there, but you can also see this very generic design in the complaints of Mind's Eye. Because, sure, you do have like mo-capped cutscene work, things that do look like they're quite big and polished, but the actual gameplay, well, to grab one quote, rote and uninspired. Why? Well, seemingly because it's built using these user-generated content tools that are kind of there to just make generic game content, ideally within a big thing called everywhere, right? And that's very much the sort of thing you would be pitching to investors if you wanted massive amounts of funding. But it does mean this cut-down version called Mind's Eye sort of has nothing to set it apart. So clearly, what happened is they pivoted, the original product took a back seat, and the thing that would be a showcase instead became the main product. So let's investigate why. The good news for us is that it very much seems February 2024 holds the answer. Builder Rocket Boy laid off staff across publishing, QA, and art teams. They said they needed to become a, quote, more agile studio. How agile? Well, let's consider the timeline here. Builder Rocket Boy existed since 2016. They had offices in Edinburgh and also in LA. That's all pretty expensive. And then they opened a Hungarian studio in 2017. They announced a French studio for 2023. That's a crazy lot of shit. And then, of course, layoffs hit all of them. But here's where it gets juicy, right? So just 1 month earlier, in January 2024, they raised $110 million from capital partners. And that is, of course, just the latest in a long line of investment deals. And you can sort of see why, again, the whole user-generated content thing makes a lot of sense. Now, what's odd, right, is that they seem to have needed that money because no traditional publishing deal existed. IO partners weren't funding them, they were just providing distribution and logistics, and that partnership was not announced until October of 2024. And all of this makes Mind's Eye look like the end of a countdown, right? So after the 2024 funding, the episodic structure does seem to have disappeared, right? Then Mind's Eye became an external product, not a thing within everywhere, the big thing they were trying to make. We got staff being laid off at studios, including publishing staff. Those were replaced by existing teams. It basically looks like what they needed was revenue, and fast as they could get it. Now, obviously, the big project, the thing that they were really betting the studio on everywhere, was not ready for prime time. And I guess they just thought, throwing a little bit of BioWare magic, crunch out Mind's Eye, and maybe we'll get to survive and, salvage the company and eventually get to where we want to go. But this time that obviously didn't happen. And according to alleged staff statements, it was never going to happen. Because if you check the reviews over on Glassdoor, you do see that Builder Rocket Boy doesn't really sound like a great place to work. You've got review after review calling out upper management, talking about a culture of blame, of egotistical decision makers, constant crunch, essentially all of the classic game development bullshit, right? Rubbish feedback processes, constantly changing briefs being handed down to people, all of which created a game and a studio that effectively never had a chance. Mind's Eye then is probably the most high-profile failure, right? Launch failure of this month, but it's certainly not the worst game this month, not even the worst game this week. Steam has got loads and loads of single-player games that never come together, just loads of shite. So you might be wondering then, why do we cover it? Well, the bugs, the memory leaks, the messiness, those things do actually matter, right? Whenever companies think they can get away with that. But what more matters is that those are not the whole story. I think this is newsworthy because of the sheer hubris that has been seen by the leadership and all of their bizarre behavior. But that's still not everything. Here's the real reason. Builder Rocket Boy already showed us something, right? The developers who built this game will pay for leadership's failures. But the decision makers, the people actually in control, well, we've literally seen that they've just been able to walk away from this. We know they're happy to lay off their staff, they've proven that, and when Mind's Eye doesn't profit, when Everywhere's release gets threatened again, well, I guess the only question is, how deep will the layoffs cut to make leadership's plan work, and how many members of leadership will just run away, having made a shitload of money as the whole thing ends up burning? Only time will tell. What's very obvious, though, is that Mind's Eye is absolutely not the way to launch a game, and when your game does look like a bit of a shit show, saying that it's people paying other people to trash your game and, leave negative reviews using bots, that's really not the best PR strategy. Oh, what a load of silliness. Okay, if you want something awesome, though, check out this video next because, Arrowhead Interactive absolutely did it good.
So Trump talked about this earlier today, and this was, I guess, probably in the morning. There were a number of quotes out of this, so we're going to watch it. Here we go.
All these people for a long time.
What is this?
Any illegal immigrants, anything else? If they were, they'll find out.
Right?
They'll be checking you. You won't believe it. Their whole life will be destroyed because of this press conference.
Yeah,
Watch.
sure.
They'll destroy these people. I didn't want to tell them that before this stood out. They'll end up being, he's a so-and-so. This one is from you know where. Don't worry. I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be right behind you. Far behind.
Here we go. You got to start
I'll be
out.
right behind you.
Give it a
Now,
minute.
Look, we have to take care of our farmers. We have to take care of people that run leisure hotels. I mean, we have to take care of them. But most importantly, we have to get the criminals out of our country.
Yeah, true.
And Biden let in thousands and 11,888 murderers. Many of them murdered
11,000? But how the fuck do you let out 11,000 murderers? There's no way. That's crazy. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
than one person. Can you believe it? Many, almost 50% of them murdered more than one person. You let them into our country. They emptied out the jails of countries from all over the world, from the Congo, from Venezuela, from all over the place. They emptied out the jails, many of them. I would. If I were running one of the countries, I would have emptied out my prison population into the U.S., and many countries did. And we're getting them out, okay? We're getting them out. Thank you very much. Let's watch this. Brian, go ahead. Are you okay?
I'm just going to follow up on the immigration real quickly.
Yeah.
Can you comment on the impact of the Trump card? How much is that?
The Trump
we have
card. Well, that's the gold card. That's the $5 million you come into America and you're an instant citizen pay to win card. I know
Thing
that.
called the Trump card. This has not been done before, I thought.
Yeah.
And for $5 million, this is usually people that would either be working for companies like Apple, I think, is going to buy a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because they can't get people into the country. You know, if you come in through the southern border, you have no problem. You can be a criminal, you can be a drug dealer, you have no problem. But if you go and graduate #1 in your class from a great school, you can't get a job because there's no access to getting it. You can't get a green card. So we're going to sell that to people, in some cases wealthy, in some cases not wealthy. They'll be paid for by universities. Look at Harvard. They got $53 billion. That whole thing is coming to an end. It's amazing.
I mean, I don't think we need to be giving them any fucking money if they've got that much endowments and they're actively doing things that are discriminatory, right? Like if the way that they are bringing people into the university, because like, again, right? I mean, you have, this is like American taxpayer dollars, right? Like as a taxpayer, do I want my money going towards an organization that is doing racially based hiring? Absolutely fucking not. Not even in the slightest. So yeah, I totally fucking agree with this. Harvard has billions? Well, then they can use that.
What we found out, what a disgrace. They have $53 billion. We gave them 5, 6, and some people say it's as much as $9 billion over a short period of time. So that's very much coming to it. They want to make a deal more than, I would say Harvard wants to make a deal more than Iran wants to make a deal, and Iran wants to make a deal.
Okay.
But
great.
I mean, a lot of things are happening on a lot of fronts, Brian. A lot of good things are happening. And frankly, it's a little bit of as we used to say liberal, now they say progressive. I use the word liberal. Progressive's too nice a word because they're destroying the country. They're really destroying these liberal politicians are destroying our country. Look what they've done during Biden's 4 years. I mean, we're working on, so much of our effort goes to getting people out of the country that should have never been here in the first place.
Sorry, guys, I got to interrupt this real quick for something that is really fucking funny. JD Vance just tweeted out, just set up my page on Blue Sky. Hope to see you guys there. Hello, Blue Sky. I've been told this app has become the place to go for common sense political discussion and analysis. So I'm thrilled to be here to engage with all of you. To that end, I found Justice Thomas's concurrence on medical care for transgender youth quite illuminating. He argues that many of our so-called, quote, experts have used bad arguments and substandard science to push experimental therapies on our youth. I might add that many of those scientists are receiving substantial resources from Big Pharma to push these medicines on kids. What do you think? Oh, man. I love it. Bro, he going in there just talking shit. Oh my fucking god. How long before he gets banned? Are they going to ban the vice president for quoting a Supreme Court justice? I think absolutely they would do that. 100%.
What he's done to this country is not him. He had no idea what was going on. Everybody knows that. It's other people. It's Lisa and this one and that. All these people, all the scum that was around the Oval, you know, the Oval Office or around the beautiful resolute desk, telling this guy, here, do this, do that, and not even telling him. They just go over to the auto pen and sign whatever the hell they wanted to sign.
As
say
always.
What you want about Biden. He wasn't for open borders. He wasn't for transgender for everybody. He wasn't for men playing in women's sports.
Oh, jeez.
But he has no idea what the hell. He has no idea.
I love I love how they make how he makes Biden out to be a victim with all of this stuff. That's my favorite thing.
They were very upset. They wanted Bernie Sanders. And after about a week of this guy, they said, wait a minute, we just hit gold. This guy has no clue. He'll do anything we tell him. And then they realized
poor
they
Biden.
don't even have to get permission. They just go up to the auto pen. That's a subversion. That's a takeover of our government. And you people ought to start looking at it. That's a takeover. Not only did they cheat, I guess you saw yesterday came out with China and the license plates. Tens of thousands of cards. They used those cards to vote on the second election, my second, the one 2020.
Is he saying that it's rigged? Bro, was it actually rigged? Oh, shit.
Because everybody here knows I won that election by a lot. But the only good thing I can say is this is a much more historic term than I think I could have had as a second term. This is a much more historic election, and now we're going to put up a beautiful flagpole, and we're going to put up a flag.
Wow.
And I hope you enjoy it, and let's see how real people work. These are real people. You're not real people. Your job is too easy. Okay?
Last one on the round, Mr. President.
Just sitting there talking shit.
Real quick on Pakistan, sir. You have a meeting today with the Pakistani Army Chief of Staff.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to?
So even Pakistan is trying to roach out on Iran? God damn. Do they have any allies?
Achieving diplomatically as well.
Well, I stopped a war between Pakistan. I love Pakistan. I think Modi is a fantastic man. I spoke to him last night. We're going to make a trade deal with Modi of India. But I stopped the war between Pakistan and India. This man was extremely influential in stopping it from the Pakistan side, Modi from the India side, and others. And they were going at it, and they're both nuclear countries. I got it stopped. I don't think I had one story. Did I have one story written about it? I stopped the war between two major
I never get any credit, man. And that's okay.
nations, major nuclear nations. I don't think I had a story written about it, but that's okay. You know why? The people know. The people know.
But the people know and they respect. Yeah, of course.
Did you write it?
The real one.
We all wrote it.
Did you write it?
Yeah. Just one more on the
You
round,
wrote
Mr.
it.
President.
Did you say thank you?
When does
Yeah.
your patience run out with?
Adjustments that need to be made for Marine One departures and
No, no, we put it so that Marine One is very far away. We did it in conjunction with the Air Force, with everybody, and everybody signed off on it. We have to have it far away. It's very far from Marine One's out there. It's out in the field. So you have to have a certain distance. We're about 3 times that distance. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Prime Minister Netanyahu. About getting involved.
Okay. All right, we'll get to the next part.
Very flammable trees. They don't have forests, right? 'Cause
So
they clean
that's
the
them
forests.
putting
They
up the
maintain
flagpole.
their forests.
You can see there's the flagpole. Wow.
Good, in fact. You know, body is job.
Looks pretty good.
We got a great ruling, as you know, yesterday from the judge. The absolute right. If we didn't bring in the military in Los Angeles, you would have maybe no city.
Isn't it crazy how everybody just totally forgot about the protests and the ICE stuff in LA? Like, it's not popular anymore. I guess nobody gives a shit about it anymore, and it's just gone.
Just what you have with the housing.
Yeah,
Burns
nobody
to the
cares.
ground.
How will you ensure
What
that
they're
change
doing is they take this out.
with the ruling
Mr. President,
yesterday?
it seems
Does
like you
that
agree with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, well, with the ruling yesterday, does that mean you're more empowered to send National Guard to other cities as well, maybe New York?
Yeah, I would hope so.
I always thought I wasn't. It would be
you're not gonna
shocking, really. Only a guy like Newsom would even ask for it. You know, he should be thanking me instead of fighting. Newsom would.
Did you say thank you? God damn.
He wouldn't have a city right now. It would be burning to the ground. You'd have people running all over throwing rocks. Did you see them breaking up the concrete? Because we caught the bricks. They were bringing bricks, heavy bricks, red bricks, by the bag. 5 or 6 big bags. The guys strong guys that could hardly even carry them. They're going to hand them out to people to throw at the police.
Great.
And by the way, the chief of police in Los Angeles said
that they were
we needed
overwhelmed.
the help.
Yeah.
If we didn't have the help, we would have been in trouble. Now he changed his mind 4 days later because he put a little bit, but he actually needed it more than. But we did a great job. We quelled that thing, and the fact that we are even there thinking about going in, they won't bother with it anymore. They'll go someplace else, but we'll be there too. We'll be wherever they go. We're going to be.
Did you see the main numbers for immigration?
Yeah, great numbers.
0.
Yeah, we had 0. Did you see that, everybody?
You were going to ask that.
0. She's on our side now. Because most people don't want to ask.
Well, she said she told earlier. Brian, did you see the main numbers? It's 0.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because we really have a tight border. Now we let a lot of people in, but they came in legally. They actually have to take a little test, and they have to say, "I love America." You know, minor things like that.
That's nice.
Mr. President, can you talk about extending TikTok a bit?
Yeah, we'll be extending it. We're going to extend it. We're going to probably make a deal. I think we'll need China's blessing on it. I think they'll bless it.
How was Prime Minister Carney towards you?
Very good.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been nicer. We enjoyed the Canada stay.
People said Canada glazed Trump. Is that true? Did that happen?
And I had to come back, obviously, for what's happening in the Middle East, but I got everything done.
Kind of, yeah.
I think
Is that right?
Carney's a good man. Very well, a good representative.
JD got banned on Blue Sky. I'll look at it afterwards.
I think so, yeah.
Mr. President, have you given the Iranians an ultimatum?
Yeah. Yes.
You could say so. They know it.
Even he says it. Bro, he just goes and admits it.
Maybe you could call it the ultimate ultimatum, right?
The ultimate
What
ultimatum.
essentially was that, though? What do you
Oh,
mean?
I don't want to say. Look,
I'm not gonna say. Jeez.
give me a second.
What about the Paramount deal?
I would say the elder. She's doing great. She's doing great. She's really enjoying it. Baron's enjoying it. All my kids are enjoying it, actually. It's pretty hot out here, isn't it?
Is this what's muggier, the DC or West Palm Beach in the summer?
I think this is muggy. This is a muggy. This is that.
Mr. President, could I ask you about the Paramount deal and the merger with Skydance and the Ellisons? Like, what's holding that up, and like, do you see that being resolved?
I hope so. It's a good. Ellison's great. They'll do a great job with it. But so what they did is they interviewed 60 Minutes. They interviewed Kamala. Her answer was horrendous.
Geez.
I would say election threatening. This is the day before the election. Her answer was.
Oh yeah, that's the one that they cut up a bunch, and then after Trump won, they roached out on Kamala, and then they posted her full interview that made her look stupid. Now, I remember this really well.
Election threatening
Yeah.
or so incompetent.
Remember that?
So they took the entire answer out, and they took another answer to another question and put it in. And they did that, I understand, a number of times, but
Oh yeah.
you don't have to do it a number of times. The main question they asked, and we caught them. And they're very embarrassed by it. And
I'd
they're
be
working on
embarrassed.
a settlement now.
Yeah.
But think of it. Did you ever hear that one before? They took the entire, every word, threw it out, put another answer. You think they do that for me?
I think it happens daily.
Mr. President.
Well, I've never seen it. I thought I've seen everything. That I've never seen. And it's very embarrassing. The head of 60 Minutes got fired. The head of CBS got fired.
Damn.
They're all getting fired on it. But do you think see what they're doing?
What are they doing?
This is
Just
only
interrupts
if you're in construction. This is exciting. See, they have to get it perfectly straight.
Oh.
And once it's perfect, then they pour in the sand, and it's there for 100 years.
That's a long time.
The Senate works on the big beautiful bill. It seems like SALT is going to be a really big issue between Senate Republicans and House Republicans. So what are you telling senators? Because the New York Republicans on the House side are making clear that that's a red line for them.
Well, if it were a red line, then get ready for a 68% tax increase in 1929, because we're taking care of that issue too. You know what that is? That's
What's
debt
that?
ceiling. the debt sale, we have to move the debt. And if we don't move the debt, it's...
I'll show you some other ones from this too, because I feel like this is a lot of other like general things. But he did make some other comments about this that we will look at. I didn't realize it. I thought this was mostly about Iran. Apparently it's not. Let's take a look at this. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. Where the fuck did it go? And here we go. Here we go.
What do you say to the Supreme Leader of Iran said that they will not surrender?
Say good luck.
What is the end game?
Good luck. Oh, God. What do you say, a Supreme Leader of Iran who says they will not surrender? Man, not good, huh? Finish working off? Yeah, let me see if there's another one here. And, oh, I think we did see that. And this is, bro. Who says this shit?
Who gave you the idea to do this?
I've had it for a long time. The first time I had it, but you know, you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
Bro, what is this anime dialogue? Oh my God. Yeah, okay. And he taps his belly like that. Jesus Christ.
First time I had it, but you know, you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
Man.
Airplane freakouts are always extreme. They are just downright diabolical. There's something about air travel that can just bring the demon out of some people. And there's even a term for it called airplane psychosis, where sometimes someone will just have an acute psychic. They just start reading people's mind like Charles Xavier when they get on a plane. They will have an acute psychotic break where like the stress or anxiety of flying will have them just kind of have this switch flipped where they just kind of go berserk.
Stay there.
Don't touch her.
No.
Don't touch her.
No, this is where her asshole is.
Do not touch her.
Look at her. Shut the fuck up. Don't fucking touch me.
Step back.
Let go.
There's a lot to unpack here. Obviously, we're tuning in a bit late into the season premiere. They apparently were arguing because this lady was like insulting her, and then it eventually had her like leaning over, and then she said this is where her asshole is, which is, I mean, that's playing a game of Where's Waldo with the old brown balloon knot. Who doesn't love that old pastime? A little weird to be doing that to a stranger on a plane, though. It seemed like she was trying to film something with her phone when she said that, and then the lady that she was insulting like hit her phone away, which then led to her grabbing her hair and just yanking on it.
Let go of her hair.
You cannot do that.
Let go, man. Let go of her hair.
I'm not.
Andrea.
I'm not even touching your hair, bitch.
Andrea, we need the police right now.
You need to let go
We
right
need
now.
those 911.
So I'm a little torn on if this is actual airplane psychosis or if she's on something here, because she's not even in the same dimension. She's now saying she's not even touching her hair, even though she has a fistful of those fucking follicles right now. She is yanking on that hair like she's trying to climb rope with it like Rapunzel, yet she's saying she's not. Maybe she is lucid and just, I don't know, just spitting a bunch of barnacles out there. But as this progresses, you're going to see that she is just in wacko mode right now, going full-blown, uncaged, unhinged, insano style.
You need to let go.
911 back.
You need to let go right now.
Miss, let go of her hair right now.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to sit next to a fucking fat lady.
Let go.
Let go of her. You need to let go of her hair right
Let
now.
go of her hair.
You guys are already past
Let
the point
go
of
of
no
her hair.
return. You're already past the
Let
point
go
of no
of her
return.
hair.
Let go of her hair, miss.
Y'all see me. You know what's going on.
Now, it's hard to figure out exactly what started all of this. You kind of have to piece together the little breadcrumbs of lore like it's the Dark Souls narrative. But we have alternate angles here to try and piece together the mystery of what started all of this. And judging from this other angle, it seems like nothing started this. She is actually off her gourd. And the lady that she just keeps calling fat over and over again didn't do anything at all to provoke this. She just happened to be nearby in this woman's aggro range and was the recipient of her wrath.
This is worth $250 to you? Look at this. Look at this. $250? I'm sorry. There's like, I'm like not touching this girl's ass. I'm sorry, I don't care. Are you okay?
We need to get the police down here right away. She just struck off Nugent.
So the no flight list is about to add another person. That's crazy. Oh my God.
Anyone can see this. Fuck it.
This was the prologue here before she grabbed the woman's hair. She's just yapping about $250 about something. It's incomprehensible gobbledygook. But anyway, let's go back to people trying to like restrain her and stop her from yanking on this woman's hair.
It's just retarded. Yeah, put me on the ground. Put me on the ground. Alright. Look at this fat lady. Look at this fat ass bitch. She can't even, look, you can't even see her stomach. It's horrible. Look at her outfit. Look at this fat ass bitch. Hilarious. You can't even show your mouth because you're embarrassed. You can't even see it because you're embarrassed. Shut the fuck up.
Who is that, Lonnie?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, ugly ass fucking dude who's never gonna lay it again.
She actually looks possessed. She looks like the horror movie poster to a film about an exorcism. She looks like she's trying to do an Amy Lee cosplay from Evanescence, but she got too hard into Fent on the way. She is leaning over, insulting these two people who have done nothing wrong from what I can tell from the two videos here that showcase this event and everything kind of leading up to it. She's just over here insulting them while getting restrained, and spoiler alert, she's about to make it physical. She doesn't just stop at just insulting them and all that. She then starts like actually attacking the woman.
Okay, I'm sorry, black guy. My boyfriend's black, so shut the fuck up. My boyfriend's fucking a black guy. My boyfriend's a black. My boyfriend's black. My boyfriend's a fucking black guy.
I really thought she was about to put on a Burger King crown. I thought the old Burger King plain guy was about to find his Burger Queen here.
You're joking.
Oh my God.
We're not doing all that. We're not doing Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I am in awe at the restraint of that woman who's getting spit on to not like pop that lady in the nose, not to just lay down the meanest fucking haymaker on that woman. That's assault. It is textbook assault. She is hawking loogies on this woman, spitting like an alpaca here. I cannot believe that she had the restraint to not hit her. I really don't know how she was able to do that. She must be some kind of saint or something, like the Zen master, able to like fight that urge to just blast her in the fucking face. That was an actual Vinland Saga Season 2 moment. I have no enemies. I actually cannot believe it. And it only gets worse though. Like, she doesn't stop at just spitting. As I said, she gets like really physical.
Ugly ass bitch, you're so fucking ugly.
You guys, I need
You've never got laid in your life. Your boyfriend's dick is like 2 inches big. That's embarrassing. I'm so sorry about your boyfriend. That's horrible. That's horrible. I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
So she blue screens there for a moment, claiming she can't breathe and like pretends to faint so that way she can get to the ground, which frees her from everyone's grasp. But don't be fooled, it's all just a ruse. What she's doing is she's entering low power mode so she can charge her ult more effectively. You're about to see it unleashed.
Okay. Let me go, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Shut the fuck up, I can't breathe. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Nobody's fucking touching me, fuck you. You're not letting me go, motherfucker. You're corny as fuck. Nobody's letting me go.
I can get out.
Yeah, you shouldn't get out. You're fucking fat as shit. You disgusting fat ass.
She wormed her way up a little bit so she could get a better angle to start kicking that woman that she's been insulting this whole time. And she throws like a flurry of kicks. She like unleashes some like capoeira maneuvers from down there. Also, I just have to mention, whoever is filming this, what an extraordinary job. They followed the action from start to finish and kept the villain in the center of it the entire time. There was like not a single moment that they didn't have like the perfect angle to capture this, and there was no shaky cam. I don't know if they were using a gimbal, like they had a fucking Ronin with them to film this, but it was unbelievable work. It was so smooth. You don't see movies with camera work this smooth sometimes. So, really impressive job from whoever filmed this.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fat ass pig! Fuck you! You're so beautiful! You're stunning! Shut the fuck up! Can anybody do something, please? Get the fuck up! Hold on, Reverend. No. Yeah, okay, baby. You know, they need to call someone. Pega meu celular. This way. Alright. Okay, I'm sorry. My person is black. You need to shut the fuck up. No, you're like... No, my boyfriend's black. You need to shut the fuck up and respect him.
The woman who was getting kicked finally finds a way of getting out of there and like escaping, like evacuating this area with the fucking menace on the loose here. And I don't know what happened at the end there, but she just keeps repeating that her boyfriend is black, and then it sounds like she's starting to cry. And then immediately she snaps back into fucking demon time after repeating that for like the 4th time, and then starts just kicking and screaming again.
Alright, I can do that. No, you need to fucking chill the fuck out. Fuck you! Fuck you! Leave me the fuck alone!
The way she snaps back and forth from like being on the verge of tears to then going right back into kicking everyone and screaming, it feels like a psychotic episode here. I think it's probably airplane psychosis, maybe coupled with like alcohol, like maybe she's fucking sloshed, I don't know, but this seems like a case of airplane psychosis, which is a very real thing and a very confusing phenomenon. Now, the video ends shortly after here with her still doing that while handcuffed on the floor, but alternate angle, someone captured footage of how they got her off the plane, and it's like something out of Silence of the Lambs. Got her strapped down to the bed and escorted by like 6 officers there going through the airport. Fucking brutal, man. Like this freak out was unreal. Probably earned her a spot on the no-fly list, I would imagine. I don't think Southwest is going to be all that excited to have her fly on their aircrafts going forward. But wow. I would comfortably say this is one of the craziest airplane freakouts I've ever seen. At least in the top 3, I would imagine. I feel really bad for that lady and I believe her boyfriend. She kept saying it was her boyfriend, but I have no idea if that's true or not. It could have just been 2 people sitting there. I feel really bad for both of them to be on the receiving end of so much vitriol for absolutely fucking nothing from someone just going nuts. Anyway, wishing them well. That's really about it. So yeah.
Ted Cruz claims the Bible commands Christians to defend the nation of Israel. No.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who...
Oh, fuck. Oh, come on, bro. Like, why do you have to fucking do this? Why?
Curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
What?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Oh, God. Oh, God. Shut up. Shut up. What, are you kidding me? This is so stupid. What are you talking about? Lying Ted's back to his old tricks. Yep.
Hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this.
Yeah?
We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And we're
What does that mean, Israel?
But why? Why? Also, wait, that doesn't even make sense. Because, so... Didn't they make Israel in 1948? And didn't they make the Bible a lot before then? So how could you be commanded to support Israel if the Bible didn't even know what Israel was? I don't know. I think that's dumb. What the hell are you talking about?
Told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is?
What is it?
That would be the country you've asked 49
well, the Bible didn't know what Israel is, so what's Israel?
questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is.
How do you... No. Who decided that? That's bullshit. This is insane. What the hell are you talking about?
Okay.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
He's the prime minister.
Right.
What?
He's the guy.
Just like, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You
that is
believe
Israel.
That's what God was talking about in Genesis.
I do, but
that country's existed since when?
For thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is.
Oh my God. How fucking embarrassing.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
92 million.
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
Pre-wash? No, it's not pre-wash. They've talked about it 5 times.
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay,
actually
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know anything about the country.
What would it matter what their ethnicity is if they have a nuclear bomb? This is the reason why I don't like these online debates, is because it's a blood sport for retards. To be fair, Ted Cruz should have known there's about 10 to 11 million people in Tehran, right? You got to know that because you just had them evacuate. Like, you should know that. And you should know how many people are in the area. You absolutely should know that. And so it's a quiz show. It's 16 million. I heard it was 10 to 11. But Ted guy is right. The majority are Persian and Shia. Well, I'm not sure. It's your basic homework. You should know. He should know. He definitely should know the population. But you understand that, like, that's not really an argument against, like, what he's saying. It's got nothing to do with what he's saying. It's basically like, I am going to argue against a point that you're not making. Or, sorry, I'm going to argue in favor of something that has nothing to do with the topic so I can make you look bad in a tangential way. It's a gotcha question. It is. It's a gotcha question. And nobody gonna know everything, right? It's a side topic. It is. You're a retard. If you don't even know the ethnicity or population, you're probably also not read enough to know if they have the ability to make anything are correlated. So if you don't know the population, like, I don't know about that. I mean, you think about it like, there's plenty of countries that are, like, I mean, if people say Israel has bombs, Israel's not a huge country at all. It's not true, yeah. I mean, you should know the GDP maybe or something else, how much money they put in the military, but that's it. The ethnic groups can inform people on local politics, knowing who's most likely to overthrow current administration, who's brainwashed to defend it, etc. Well, you already know what the data on that is. I don't know if Ted Cruz does know.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
They're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe...
Because that's not the right option. That's not the way to do it. Why would you do that?
Carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, this
fucking obviously.
You're breaking news here because the...
It's not breaking news. This has been happening for 10 years, 20 years.
U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
Yeah, we're giving them money.
We are supporting
Israel.
Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay. So you want to ask, how does supporting Israel benefit us? Right now, this tiny little country, the size of the state of New Jersey, is fighting our enemies for us and taking out their top military leadership and trying to take out their nuclear.
I have to say that the way the light is on this really makes it look like Ted Cruz has a Hitler mustache. I've got to say it, and I'm right, aren't I? Look at it. Look at you. Do you see it? Uh-oh. That's a whole lot. That's bad.
Capacity. That makes America much safer. So you want to ask...
So, I mean, these are just clips, bro. They're just clips.
It's so important. I voted for Donald Trump. I campaigned for Donald Trump. Yeah. He's our president. And we're on the cusp of a war. So if there's evidence that Iran paid hitmen to kill Donald Trump and is currently doing that, where's that? Like, what are you even talking? I've never heard that before.
Okay.
Where's the...
Well, yeah, because they probably don't want to say it because then that's going to... I mean, this is probably what I assume. I bet there have probably been over 50 attempts on Donald Trump's life that we don't even know about. Because the Secret Service stops him before it even goes anywhere. But and they're not going to go out and say it's classified. Yeah, it's classified information. But it's fucking exactly.
The evidence, who are these people? Why haven't they been arrested? Why are we not at war with Iran?
That's a great question to ask.
How do you know that that's true?
We know that it's true because
he has access to classified documents and information that you don't. Obviously. Like, what do you mean? He's a senator and you're not. Like, I mean, that's obviously the reason why.
We have been told that by the military and our intelligence community for the last 2 years.
We meaning who?
If they knew Iran was trying to assassinate him, they would bomb Iran? No, they wouldn't. Why would they do that? So, no, because like then that has its own risk. No, they wouldn't.
Congress has in the public. I mean, we had multiple testimonies. I can send you testimony.
Do we know the names of the people or where this happened or what they tried to do to kill Trump?
We do not. We have not apprehended an Iranian hitman trying to kill him. We know.
Bro, you see what he's saying. Bro, he loves doing this. He is not answering the question because it's classified. Like, the thing is, I wish Ted Cruz would just go say, like, listen, like, I can't talk about this shit. Like, this is classified data information. That's it. The people around did not try and kill them, so why bomb them? Yeah, exactly.
That Iran is trying to do so.
In the United States.
Yes, and by the way, like Iran...
This just seems like a huge headline, and you're acting like everyone knows this. I didn't know that.
Iran put out a whole video about murdering Trump.
Right, but I've never heard evidence that there are hitmen in the United States. I mean, trying to kill Trump right now, we should, like, have a nationwide dragnet on this, and we should attack Iran immediately if that's true. Don't you think?
No.
If they're trying to...
No.
Assassinate our president?
They have been for 2 years.
Then
they
why
are
are we
enemies.
at war with them?
Well, we are trying to
Why don't we just nuke Tehran if they're trying to murder our president? There's no...
We gotta ask Grok or Google it. It's public info released by the Department of Justice in November 2024. Iran tried to kill Trump. Man, is this? I don't know. Why would you even say this?
Nothing that you could do that would be worse for the United States than murdering Trump. And I just don't understand why you're not calling for the use of nuclear weapons against the Ayatollah right now. I'm serious. If you really believe they're trying to murder...
What the fuck?
Nuclear weapons. See,
whatever
that's part of the
takes.
problem of... So
what do you mean? You don't seem to take the allegations seriously. I do. If you believe they're trying to murder Trump, we need to stop what we're doing and punish them.
No, maybe not. He's absolutely being disingenuous. You can't decor anyone who poses a threat. Yes. Let's see. I will get a few of these.
Say, I don't understand. For some reason, you are really invested in defending Russia, and I don't get that. I'm not attacking you with that. I'm genuinely, like, I don't get why you're so passionate about defending Russia. Say,
Bro, that was some Joker laugh.
Defending Russia.
That was some Joker laugh shit. God damn, what's going on with this?
That they're willing to spend money to do that.
I'm totally opposed to that. It's awful. I am against killing anybody, actually. Okay. But I just want to...
well, we are trying to...
Why don't we just nuke Tehran if they're trying to... I am against killing anybody, actually.
Okay.
Ted Cruz only shows clips that put him in the best light? Yeah, and what do you think Tucker Carlson is showing?
And now you seem very open to the idea of potentially taking U.S. action. Obviously, you're not going to tell us that. Can you walk us through what contributed to that change, how you got to where you are in making your decision now?
Well, I think it started the first night. I mean, that first night was devastating.
Yeah.
And it really knocked the one side off, as you know. It was a devastating evening, day.
Very devastating.
Pretty much proceeded that way. I have a meeting in the war room in a little while.
Skip this.
Especially, war is very bad. There was no reason for this to be a war. There was no reason for Russia, Ukraine. A lot of wars there was no reason for. You know? You look right up there, I don't know, see the Declaration of Independence, and I say, I wonder if the Civil War, it always seemed to me maybe that could have been solved without losing 600,000 plus people. So
people say that?
It's very sad to see. It's very sad to see what's happening. But with that being said, I would say right now, Israel, from the standpoint of winning a war, is doing pretty well. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, in your meeting today with the Chief of Staff of the Pakistani Army, did you talk about Iran? Did that come up? Is there anything you can share from that?
Yeah. Well, they know Iran very well, better than most. And they're not happy about anything. It's not that they're bad with Israel. They know them both, actually, but they're probably, maybe they know Iran better. But they see what's going on, and he agreed with me. The reason I had him here, I wanted to thank him for not going into the war, just, ending the war. And I want to thank, as you know, Prime Minister Modi just left, just a little while ago.
Oh, India guy.
Left, and we're working a trade deal with India.
Oh.
We're working a trade deal with Pakistan. And they were both here, but I was with Modi a few weeks ago. He was here, actually. But now we speak to him, and I'm so happy. There was a deal that two smart people, plus, they have people on their staff too, but two very smart people decided not to keep going with that war. That could have been a nuclear war. Those are two nuclear powers.
Yep, that's true.
Big ones. Big nuclear powers. And they decided that. So I was honored to meet him today.
And if I can also keep it, sir.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, that is a W. We never talk about this a whole lot. We always talk about the wars that keep going, but the fact that India and Pakistan were able to de-escalate from what seemed like a really bad conflict, that's a very good W. Huge thing.
And for anyone who may want to answer, how has the travel bans from certain countries affected fans maybe coming in for the games, or is that not a consideration?
Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's not a concern for us. For the games now in the Club World Cup, everything has been done in a very smooth way. We have an excellent collaboration, of course, with the president, but with the task force in particular. For next year, the World Cup, we have one more year to work.
I just realized I have the same hairline as Abraham Lincoln. Fuck.
And the learnings that we have this year with the Club World Cup, which is historic, I say this to all the Americans, because it's the first ever Club World Cup, and it's played in the United States of America. So the learnings we'll have for this will apply them next year.
And they're largely sold out, so
but
I don't know. I don't think he's too worried about the travel ban. He doesn't know what the travel ban is, I don't think. Johnny, tell me what the travel ban is. Right? He doesn't know what it is. He's largely sold out. Like tonight is totally. I've had friends, they heard about this meeting. They said, can you give me tickets? I don't know if I can get tickets. He won't give them to me.
We can speak.
Maybe John will give them to me.
Wait, so is he saying that he has friends, people that are hitting up the president to get him tickets for some sports game? Hey, Donald. Bro, can you get me locked in? I'm trying to see this game.
Mr. President, two questions, if I could. One about Iran and then one domestically. With Iran, what's your message to Americans, both here and abroad, who are not only concerned about the U.S. potentially getting involved in another conflict in the Middle East, but worry about the potential for retaliation here at home?
Great question.
Well, I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one. And they had to sign a document. I think they wish they signed it now. It was a fair deal. And now it's a harder thing to sign,
In my opinion, I think this a few weeks away thing versus a few years away is a complete stupid thing to say. Because, like, really, why? Because I'm deciding if I'm going to say it. Everybody generally is under the agreement that aborting a baby earlier in the pregnancy is better than later, right? So, like, do you want to abort a baby in the 9th month or, like, the 3rd month? So, like, if we know that they're trying to do this, wouldn't it be better to nip this in the bud as soon as possible? Like, I feel like, really, I mean, that's just, I mean, I'm just thinking about... That's the way my brain works, okay? Now, should it work that way? Probably not. But it does.
A lot of water over the dam. But, it's very, I say it very simply. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
Too much devastation. And they'd use it. I believe they'd use it. Others won't use it. But I believe they'd use it. So that's it. It's very simple as far as I'm concerned. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
And then domestically, Missouri Senator Josh Hall came out this week as the lead sponsor of the bill to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. It stands out because he's a Republican. There's still 20 states that have it at $7.25. Do you support the legislation or the idea?
Well, I haven't seen it. I'd have to speak to Josh. He's a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
That's interesting that Josh did that.
Should be $20 an hour.
I'm gonna have to think about that one. Some people agree with it, some people don't. You know, some people say it really turns away business. Restaurants close, and a lot of things happen. Other people agree. I'd have to speak to Josh. He's a good guy.
I'm the kind of guy, I think if you can't pay people a living wage to do work, then maybe you don't have a good business model.
For the Iran, the possibility of an Iran deal, is the destruction or the dismantling of the Fordow nuclear enrichment center, is that a prerequisite for a deal? Is that a red line for you?
No, it's just something that people talk about having. We're the only ones that have the capability to do it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it at all.
Doesn't mean
yeah, we have the best military equipment in the world. You see that with this fight. We have planes that are undetectable, flying around like, you know, nobody's able to see them stealth. You guys want to be stealthy tonight. You know, you can be stealth, you'll never lose, right? But these are incredible planes and weapons. We have the best weapons in the world, by far.
Somebody said that we wouldn't have restaurants if we had $20 an hour minimum wage. Did you guys know that in some of the Nordic countries, they actually do have a wage that pays that much for a number of people, and it actually is totally fine. The false idea that the only way that restaurants can run is if they pay their employees slave wages. This is a lie that's been fed to you by capitalist, and I love capitalism, but these are you know, cynical capitalist restaurant owners in order to have you continue on a tipping tradition that was precipitated by slavery. No. Do not live inside that framework. It's a lie.
Nobody close, and I mean, certain countries take advantage of that. Israel has incredible weaponry, so we'll see what happens. I've been asked about it by everybody, but I haven't made a decision.
Yeah,
Get me out! Get me out! Let me out!
Mr. President, you talked earlier today about having daily.
Yeah,
express their desire.
you want to go warm up.
Everybody hit the follow button. I'm gonna need all your strength for this.
My granddaughter, my grandson, but you want to be both. And
Thank you. All right.
Because I love you so much.
Angie.
This is dying.
This is dying.
Oh my god.
Please read the description, Angie. This is for you.
Okay, this game is intended for players 18 and over. If you're planning on recording or streaming a playthrough of this game, then it is strongly recommended that you select streamer safe mode, as the NSFW mode contains content that breaks the community guidelines of platforms such as Twitch and YouTube. If you stream or upload a playthrough from the not safe for work mode, your video could be taken down, or even worse, action could be taken against your account, i.e. banned. This game attempts to simulate the experience of playing an online video game that has a substantial problem with toxic players. Some parts of this game can be quite jarring and upsetting. The NSFW mode contains sexually explicit dialogue, explicit scenes of furry sex roles, references to genital mutilation. Both the not safe for work and streamer safe modes contain unpleasant characters, mature language, graphic descriptions of suicide, and characters who wish to express their desire to commit real-life violence. It should be noted that no specific ethnic, religious, or marginalized group of any kind is mentioned or implied when certain characters in the game express their desire for violence.
I'm a huge pussy.
I can't wait for these very
Wait a minute! Ableist and misogynistic speech or slurs. However, the slur lolcow
Wait a minute! Oh my god!
I strongly oppose all forms of real-life harassment, bigotry, toxic behavior, and violence. I sincerely apologize to those who may find this content too triggering to play.
Oh, you're a fag.
Make this game just for the sake of being edgy. Much of this, no, yes you did. This is called Agony of a Dying MMO. That is literally the thing that you do when you try to make a video game edgy.
Oh my god. There's gonna be nothing.
I will bet you $1,000 games and the negative interactions that sometimes come with it. Video games are emerging as the most popular art form of the 21st century. I believe in the need for video games that explore the culture that plays.
Hit me with your best shot, you pussy.
No, I don't want you to get banned. No, don't get banned. I don't want to see. Oh my god.
No, do it.
No.
Do it. They're pussy.
Dude, no, seriously. No, seriously, don't.
Definitely put served rent on the line. Wait.
Did you click it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rocky.
No.
It fucking crashed!
Rocky, do streamer mode.
I am in streamer mode.
Seriously.
Yeah, I genuinely don't want to get K-Zone banned.
Go back into streamer mode.
Alright. Oh, why is Sir being a pussy?
This game is about...
The game doesn't even work!
This game is about being cancelled.
It's fucking crashing! It's so not safe for work, it's crashing.
Agony of a dying MMO.
Oh, Jesus, this game is dying.
Is that AC-130 footage? That's cool.
What the fuck is this?
Dude, you go. How to stop? Wait! I don't know what they're gonna put like a. Stop the game.
Alright.
A gaping anus.
We've chilled.
A gaping diaper for anus, pissing and shit. Oh, what?
Oh my god.
Come on.
Hey, this is a movie. They tricked me.
They tricked you.
I learned that lesson from MGS4. Can't get me again.
Hessa, I did not squeeze any cardiacs.
I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to watch that.
Wait, what were you singing?
It crashed.
I was having a cigarette. I heard you singing. What was that?
It fucking crashed. It literally crashed on me.
No, you were singing Terminator some kind of lyrics in the like a few minutes, like 10 minutes ago maybe.
I wanted to see. All right, we will do this.
Optimized game.
It's so guys, it is.
You probably were singing Cardiacs without realizing it.
Guys, it was so not safe.
Reflex for you.
I was really scared it was gonna show like a dog dick.
I was like, I do not want to see the game. Fucking literally crashed the second we got to the live action. I was like, you know what?
Okay.
I don't think I want to see what it has to show me.
Okay, go back.
We'll do all right. We will do the streamer's safe mode.
See the streamer
Yeah,
mode.
me too.
All right. Serves being a pussy.
We're about to play a video game that somehow has BPD itself.
Welcome to Pussy. No. This is an autism game.
This is autism. This is hardtism.
Entire
Yeah,
opening
this
is autism.
this game is about the overlap between the two.
No,
like,
I don't think there's any
psychological-
BPD. Like,
psychological
a BPD game would just open up with like cutting, and then it would be like,
Oh boy,
Avril Lavigne would play or something.
No,
and then, like,
look.
that was killing me.
All right, we'll do the safe mode because I don't want to give Serve anxiety.
She's gonna crash anxiety.
I hope fucking Serb. We have streamed movies with like nudity in them.
Holy shit! You need to hear this. Discourse Stu
That was
points out in the
accidental.
chat.
Oh, hang on.
Okay, hello.
Yeah.
People, this is Discourse Stu pointed out in the chat.
All right.
On the game description on the website. Years ago, the developers added a playable faction of Nazis to the game that was never the same since. It was once a thriving safe space for players from marginalized groups, became a toxic playground for the worst kind of game.
All right, this is.
Wow.
So this is the backstory of the dying MMO.
Wow. I don't know about this game now.
Why is it?
That's like.
Oh my god, this thing does. Oh.
This is freaking bull.
This is the gayest thing in the world.
Hey Rocky, check to see if the dev's following you.
I don't think I will.
Also, can you scream?
Dude, this is a good aspect ratio.
Yeah, can you scream?
Yeah, hang on.
I like it.
Alright, cool.
Playing on my ultra wide screen iMac.
This is. We gotta end on the good one. This is the perfect one to end on. Me too.
That's just the Halo, or that's just a shotgun from Halo.
Yeah.
I hope it's gonna be on the show. Fuck, we better.
No, COD 4.
Angie, you don't have to read every time. This.
Oh my god, this is probably what they thought. Like, it's probably just rude chat messages.
Yeah.
No, literally.
Oh my god, Serb, if there is nothing objectionable in this and you didn't let me do the not safe for work mode, I'm gonna be so pissed. We will.
Not safe for work one then.
After the.
You told me not to.
Not safe for work one. We'll try that one, and we'll see what happens.
Maybe it'll be like a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, the Patreon exclusive, yeah.
Okay, hang on. Shh.
Yeah. Kill.
Nazis can dominate once we find Adam.
This fucking sucks.
This sucks dick.
This is my art school thesis project, guys. I've been experimenting with game design.
Culture and feminism are actually bad.
Oh my god.
Oh, this sucks dick.
Yeah. I want to see the furry dick.
Go. You know what? Go for it. Once you reach level 99, things get fucked up. You know what, Rocky? I give it my blessing. Wild. NSFW.
Nah. We're doing the safe
I hope it
version.
shows a dog dick.
No.
I do.
Because the second we go to NSFW mode, it's like.
Okay.
He's gonna drop the M word like 100 times in a row.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Why would anybody kill themselves?
Oh my
because
god.
I think you should kill yourself, Dilbert.
Oh my god, dude. No, it's not, Angie.
There ain't no point to the game, man. There ain't no point to the game,
This is a
man.
game
You just
about
hop
finding
around.
your friends.
My favorite FPS MMO.
This is about fighting your friends and killing them when they don't want you to kill them. And they're like, oh fuck, why'd you have to do that?
I think we should get Soldier Boy to play this game.
There ain't no point to the game,
I think we
man.
could.
Yeah, we can
I think
do
we
that.
could.
Also, why is
Soldier Boy could be really good at this
why
game.
does like the two-dimensional UI look like Homestuck?
Soldier Boy is both a god at music and also a god at games, I think.
Yeah.
This is all objectionably
When
true.
Platinum at 17.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody forgets
I mean,
that.
the thing everyone forgets is all of his innovations since then, which have been just imitated by
I think
everyone.
Soldier Boy
casually.
just turned 30.
Yeah.
I think Soldier Boy is.
I'm glad he didn't join the 27 club.
I am too, sir. Thank you.
He's fun, yeah.
Is that an anime girl? Why does it look like the girl from?
Excuse me.
Hussy.
That's not a real anime. That sounds too much like Surprise Eggs.
Yeah, it sounds too much like Kinder Egg.
Kinder
You
Egg.
should make an anime about Kinder Eggs.
Hussy.
It should be psychological horror about the time I choked on a Kinder Egg once.
Yeah.
That's a game. That's collectible.
Hussy, Hussy, what do you think of this? What's your opinion?
Oh, dude, there's too many clashing elements. Like, it's an MMO, but what?
I want to do the NSFW version. Fuck it. This is not stimulating.
You know what I mean? Like, I know it can make its own inventive thing, but it's trying to make a commentary.
Are we
on
gonna
clearly
do
like a
this? Are we gonna do this?
stereotypical.
I am gonna be disappointed. I can just tell. I want to see what this person considers NSFW.
No, wait. 'Cause what if something like really bad, like? Oh god.
Also,
damn.
why is it in like ultra widescreen? Like, what the fuck is?
Where is you? Do you not enjoy the
Why is it
thrill
in
of danger?
CinemaScope? Why
Yeah.
is it in literal like Lawrence of Arabia cinema?
Look, this person thinks "lol cow" is a slur. I do not want to. I do not want to see what they think is like.
It's just like, I don't know. It doesn't. A lot of this is not adding up.
NSFW is like there's a character called Moo.
It's gonna be no words.
who is
Yeah,
like,
and it's like.
Oh my nippies, and you have to like go over to her and you have to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally all it's going to be, and I'm gonna be very underwhelmed by it.
Have you seen Bite Gravel do the Soldier Boy?
Yeah.
All right, okay, here we go.
remember that.
NSFW. I do not want to see what this
I mean,
dumbass considers
The
violent.
thing is, they literally say like it's gonna ban your stream.
The admin will ban you.
Oh my god, do you remember the Key of Awesome? What the hell?
Like, why is that the font? It's an FPS MMO. Why is it like an RPG 8-bit font?
I don't know.
Just that alone, just every UI choice in the first second tells you what's wrong with the game.
I mean, the thing is, I can't.
Here we go.
Wait,
what do you stream?
Yeah, can you stream it? Can you stream it to us?
It's also a walking simulator.
This is dumb.
The thing is, it's like you gotta. Like if a game was played with mean people, like I can't remember.
Yeah, but think about like the kind of people this person considers like Nazis.
Yeah.
Yes, I have extra. You're extra. I took off work.
I'm smiling at Smiling Ghost.
You're extra.
You're
Yeah, like I think, if they consider lol cow a slur,
It's
then I
like,
think
yeah,
that,
oh my god. Wait.
Hussy is potentially meaner than anyone that they could even possibly
This is,
imagine.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, the worst. Their own
Hussy-
personal Hitler.
Hussy
Yeah.
is the meanest person I can imagine.
Hussy is literally like the mean older brother that I.
Not mean to anyone.
Hussy,
I
you
know,
cut my
but
hair.
You know
I'm like
how
I'm like
everybody
afraid
has
of
their own. You know how everybody has their own personal Christian. They also have their own personal fucking like
older brother.
Oh yeah.
not Hitlers.
What is this?
Gambler update. He's alive.
You're right.
Good for him.
This is gay.
Get that money. Yeah, I just don't. It's like a parody, right? It's doing like a riff on something, but is
It's
it
gotta
riffing?
be.
why do a World of Warcraft thing if it's riffing on MMOs? You have to riff on the biggest MMO. You can't. It looks like Halo, but it also looks like COD 4. It's skipping around. Has this weird plot. It's not working.
If you're doing like a PS1 game, you got to be doing like Golden. Like what are you talking? You got to be doing the closest thing to that era. You know, if you're doing like.
I guess maybe Dream Rift. Do you remember?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's a pre-Second Life.
Oh, they said "fuck you."
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That they didn't say that in the censored version.
No, they did. I don't understand. What is it? Just messages that are like in the chat that are supposed to be offensive? I don't know. This is dumb.
Also, chat's not saying anything offensive yet, and we're like 3 minutes in.
Wait.
The top half of the screen is being used for absolutely nothing, and it's taking up 1/3 of the screen real estate.
It's frozen for me.
I know. It froze. Yeah.
Going back.
Yeah, it's like I could understand like the concept behind this, but like.
You can?
I can vaguely understand like the idea of just like exploring like an MMO on decline, but at the same time, just like if you're trying to convey that it's like being taken over by like people kind of shit, you can do better.
Wait, hang on. Oh, I can actually.
You should check out my YouTube channel. It's about how wokeness is gay.
Yeah, it's like
bisexual panda. Okay.
The Nazis.
Also, it's like a weird concept.
Furries.
This is gonna end with like a morph man died dude type thing where it's like, yeah, bisexual panda died, dude.
He died IRL, bro.
I'm gonna cry if bisexual panda died.
You're not gonna cry.
I'm gonna be bawling my eyes out, Liz. Okay.
It's gonna fuck me up.
Why is the map unavailable?
I don't know.
Yeah, Maps just forgot to put that in. I guess.
They
don't do that in this MMORPG.
We don't need it.
20 years.
We don't need it.
That's hussy.
Store unavailable.
Oh, he's gonna.
Oh, he logged off.
Tell him to do it. Oh God, he logged off.
Oh, he logged off. We can't tell him to kill himself now.
Like, this is what happens when someone who doesn't understand suffering tries to make something transgressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for real. For real, that's exactly what this is, honestly.
This is the most contempt I think you've shown for a game, hussy.
From Twitch, and it's NPCs saying, like...
Someone called me the F slur in 10th grade once, and now I've held on to that at 27. This is about...
I'm thinking about it every day.
Expressive. I think about that every day of my life.
Yeah, no, literally.
Like, at least the boy motor one, or whatever the fuck, the non-binary one, that felt sincere.
Like, made by an actual...
Why is this horror?
Person. Like,
what is the horror factor in this?
It's not scary or horrifying. Is the horrifying part that they're bad people? No one's even...
Oh no, the anime NPC, no!
This literally sucks dick. Like, this is really bad.
This is the most contempt you've shown for a game, hussy, I think. You just viscerally hate this.
No, Yick was... I guess I never really ripped in the...
Yick never made you angry.
You can laugh at Yick.
If the long warning if there wasn't a long warning at the beginning about how horrifying this game is, and then it's just this, like...
I just have a lot of contempt for art school type of projects, you know?
Yeah.
This is like an art school person who got into game dev and wanted to try to experiment. They like video art.
Oh, that's like that was some like GoldenEye guy right there.
Oh yeah.
Their fine art sensibilities. And they want to make this new transgressive thing, this new medium at the intersection of art and technology, and then they just completely flop.
There's Hussy Devs in chat, and they are crying.
Wait, really?
No, the dev is not in chat.
If they were, I would just continue.
All right,
Yeah, good.
okay, I'd like to cut in my 2 cents. This
All
game
right,
would be a lot
go ahead.
better if. All right, I think a good thing to. I'm being sincere here. Rare moment of sincerity. This would be a lot better if it had DK mode.
Yeah, I just.
Big head mode.
Big head mode.
Entire dev team for shutting this game down. I don't care. They all deserve.
Was that was that Eric Harris? Wait.
Yeah, that was Eric Harris.
That's a...
Yeah, this is the guy who got called too many. This is the guy who got called like too many slurs on.
This was I was supposed to be an aquarium.
90% of gamers are fucking trash.
Eat shit, Sunqueer.
He got called. Wait, can I say the F word?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Said a couple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
We've said it
so
many
this is the guy who
times.
got called a faggot like too many times on
Gaia
in like
Online.
World of Warcraft and like or something, and then like was like, you guys don't get it. I'm about to make art about you, and it's gonna like make you look like shit.
You're ruining my online space.
You're ruining it. You're ruining it. I'm trying to have a good time.
This is my digital liminal space for interactions that are positive.
You're gonna die. No.
Yeah, you fucked up. You fucked up.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh, now the whole experience has to be restarted like this.
Oh, you gotta experience it all again.
Oh no.
Shut the fuck up.
Get the fuck out of here!
We're dancing. We're fucking dancing.
The music is so not matching. It should be like the Six Flags commercial music where it's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, Crazy Frog is coming.
The old man actually
Thanks,
died
Stu.
of COVID this year.
Aw,
Like-
rest in peace.
R.I.P. Man, what a legend. I mean, the thing is, this person thinks that this is
That's
like,
the NSFW part was dolphin sex.
Oh.
this person thinks that the most serious shit in the world is this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, this person
getting
this
called a
person
faggot
just, like,
online.
yeah, this person just like
Oh,
played,
hot dog! I know that guy.
This person just
Hot
like
dog.
played a couple of like
I got called a faggot in Overwatch once.
Warcraft in 2017 and was just like, oh shit, this is what is important to me. This is
No.
the
What they
fundamental
did,
shaping
Angie, what they did is they gritted their teeth and they were like, guess what? I'm about to make art about you. And
From
you
what I understand, most MMOs are quite, like, if they're a small community, this game's been going on for 20 years, the ending stages of an MMO like that are quite positive. Because there's such a
Oh
community
no.
thing.
It's the sex part. No. You're inside the vagina. Get outta here.
My new go-to threat is I'm gonna make art about you.
No, literally, that is a joke that I
That's awesome.
It's like, don't make me art about you.
What? Nobody has done this.
Nobody has ever done this.
What is the precedent for this?
What?
This is
23
one
and 11
person,
like
dude.
deliberate number symbols.
This is one guy. Like, that has had, like, someone did some shit to him and he's like, I'm about to show that.
This is not.
This game.
This is not what gamers are like. There's like
I'm gonna show the police. They're all Christchurch people, and I'm fucking.
There's an NPC in World of Warcraft who's based on a real life guy who died of cancer, and everyone in that game understands that you're not supposed to fuck with that NPC.
Exactly.
Like
MMOs are built on community. I don't understand.
That little fucking gnome guy.
Yeah,
No.
literally.
Yeah.
this is not what game communities
Oh, no,
are like.
now you're a school shooter.
This type of toxicity is unique to like a fucking.
Oh no, did it crash?
No, I don't know if it did. It's just lagging a bit. I don't know. This piece of shit crashes like constantly. It might have crashed. Oh no, it didn't.
I'm getting the wheel right now.
Yeah, this is not what game communities are like at all. This is just.
Yeah, this.
Get me out! Get me out! Let me out! Ah! The doors are locked! The door's locked! Get me out! Get me out! Get me out! Get me out!
Oh no!
Help!
This is
I just murdered my children.
This is a prosecuted furry. This is like a
Oh my god! Oh god!
This is like
Get me out! Oh, this is so bad.
a furry who got made fun of made this game. I'm not kidding. Like
This is 100%. Like I experienced persecution. You're trapped in a car with Sonic Fox.
Called a faggot one time. A furry who got called like a fur faggot or like something like that. Like, and they were like, my life is dedicated now.
I love like the yellow
To
text
showing
like
this person how they made me feel.
like this text is like it comes from like a Hong Kong English sub.
Yes. No, literally.
Yeah, pretty much. Straight out of like hard boiled.
Yeah. I like how that was like.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm gonna fuck myself with 100 builds though.
It's so funny.
These are like cruelty squad type lines, dude.
There was a lot that led me to that moment.
Oh my god.
I would just sit
There was a lot that led me to that moment. Yo, that rocks.
This rules. Oh no. Did they accidentally make something good?
Dude, there goes my theory. Like, my theory is out the window. So, like, this.
I believed in
What the fuck?
Damn.
I was being excluded from it. I feared my arms would turn into
This guy was listening to Current 93.
Listening to Death in June once.
Dog that comes up
in the vagina.
Okay.
And she would just keep alive
until the universe
ends. Streaming this.
I don't know. What did you?
What's a dog that comes up? You got to like turn away.
I got it. Don't look directly at it.
This would just happen over and over.
Yeah, look down the whole time.
It's like Indiana Jones. You can't look at it. It's like
these last few years sound like they were really hard for you, but you can't just blame it all on reaching level 99.
Why is he a different voice?
You're gonna have to make peace.
No, I'm talking to him.
That's you. That's you. I think.
You talking. That is your voice. You're Ben Shapiro.
I sound gay. Yeah, I'm Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, you're playing trans Ben Shapiro in this video game.
FTM Ben Shapiro.
You're playing a schmarky.
JT Dub says God is not real.
No, this is the MTS Ben Shapiro.
When
I really hope Adfrey could see this game.
And Frank.
Rhino Dingus.
And I asked him
Or
if
more
I'd
like
to
Andrew.
future.
This is like the Little Ugly Man Bedwetter album if it sucked ass.
I love you, Rhino Dingus.
It was really a welcoming community.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Safe space. Yeah,
I'm so behind. I'm like 5 seconds behind. I can't see the
What?
On
Sir,
earth
sir,
is
look on
going
the stream.
Look in the Discord, dummy.
It's not there. It's on Discord, sir.
No, it's not there.
What are you talking?
Yes, it is.
Watching it.
I'm in my
Oh,
30s
no.
now, and I still live with my parents.
Oh no.
To make matters worse, they gaslit
What?
Hold on, I might.
thinking my dysphoria is actually a symptom of my schizophrenia.
Oh Lord, we're getting real.
Oh my god, dude.
We're getting real.
This is about me. This is about me.
So this is the throwaway.
Oh shit, dude.
Oh, real shit. Real shit.
Oh no.
Are we gonna shoot something up? Is that what we're driving?
We're driving to the church. We're driving to school.
Shoot up the church, dude.
If you drive to a civilian location, this is the greatest game of all time.
Yeah, this is the best one. If you do that,
no.
straight up start shooting civilians.
I am not kidding. If this is a mass shooting, if this is
This game will be game will be vindicated.
this is the modern Metal Gear Solid 2. Okay.
You can't look at it that way. You'll drive yourself crazy if you do.
I played this game so much, I failed out of college.
Same.
It's so loud.
Why are they so loud?
To think about
I still can't believe it.
being a furry.
Zootopia or Zootopia.
Very weird to think
It's really
about.
tough to be a furry.
Family values,
That's crazy. Damn.
a goofy movie, and being very turned on by her at a very young age.
That's crazy. Wow.
Be a furry nowadays.
Pornographic content that centers around these children's characters from these
This
families.
is just a conversation we had.
We're past that point. It's fine.
Yes, this game is so based now.
And ever since I could remember,
What is this game?
I was
Oh
turned
god.
on.
No.
How do I get out of this car? Let me out of this car.
No.
Just rewind
It's about
that
pet.
part
It's
over
about
and over
pet.
again.
Is it about
I
pedophilia
watched it
now?
so much I wore out the
Oh
tape.
my god, dude.
Let me out.
even better than dog dicks.
Let me out of the car.
I hate to think that.
Open the door.
Get me out.
Disney movie. Yuck! Ew! Oh no!
God, open the door. You gotta jump out.
I can't get out.
Oh, that is horrible. That sucks.
That's what it was. Oh, that's
What?
Shoot up a place.
that's so disappointing. That's so bad. That's the Doom video of Doom guy fucking an imp.
That's all it was.
Sex.y.
What? That's all it was.
Are you serious?
Is that AVGN?
It was just the equivalent of like bashing Barbie dolls together.
Wait. What are you talking about? Wait, what?
Are we Nazis?
We are not.
Rocky, I'd like to issue an apology.
You, sir, we almost did not get that on video.
Oh my god. Wait.
That guy,
Oh my god, that was.
Okay, I think this game dev is actually in. So I respect that.
I respect it because this game might.
This person might be schizophrenic, and that's cool.
That guy's face over there on that billboard looks like Markiplier.
Is that a Hermann Goering quote? What?
Get a good look at it.
I'm not kidding. That is
yeah.
Markiplier.
Okay. This
Yeah,
This is
Markiplier, the worst Nazi of all time. We gotta.
Markiplier, you were the freak of the week. You the throne Hitler.
Wait, we could talk to Matt Watson.
These are also the rules of the chat, by the way.
Right now.
These are the rules of our chat.
Yeah.
No snowflakes.
No girls in gaming.
Hardly saying the N-word in the chat. Like, that would...
This is the funniest thing I have ever experienced.
This was made sincere.
Oh my god.
This is what people think
unreal. This is unreal.
This is so fucking funny.
I think people that fucking suck should be more vulnerable and like.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
This is what happens when you're on
Nazis,
antipsychotics,
baby.
and you have an idea when you're.
Hell yeah, dude.
Wait, this is literally what happens when you
He's fucking wrong.
And you have an idea when you're off antipsychotics, and then you follow through when you're on them.
Oh my god.
What happens? The crash course.
So out of touch.
This rules.
What the fuck?
This is the funniest thing we've ever streamed.
Are we gonna go shoot up the devs?
I can't believe
real.
Crenshaw.
Did you see that?
I had a friend in 4th grade named no 5th grade named.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Wait, no. I want to walk it back.
No.
We got banned for playing the game?
We got banned. We got banned. Oh no.
Freedom of speech. We gotta tweet about it. We got banned.
You let me be a Nazi.
That was.
Ban me for letting me be a Nazi. I wanted to fight your war.
Fuck me, man.
What a great thing to let off on. Oh my god.
Fuck me, man.
I want to walk it back. Are we really gonna let it slide? That one comment that said, "Does anyone else follow Elon Musk on Twitter? He's so cool."
That is.
Really?
Yeah, it said that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that
This
was.
is one of the most out of touch
Oh.
things I've ever seen in my life.
Dude.
Oh my lord.
That just
He's
missed.
fucking
That was a big
raw.
swing and a miss, man.
That is.
All right, one at a time, please. One at a time. Hussy, what do you think?
That one, I don't look. I think sometimes if you're at a certain level of insight in your life, like if you have a certain lack of reflection, you should sit on things for 5 to 10 years, and then maybe establish some experiences, and then try to make the art. Because that was just swing and a miss. It was like just you don't. it's simple things you're talking about. It wasn't like any huge complex topics, but still, just not even hitting on this transgressive vibe you want to get towards. Because like you're so, I don't know, it felt like the artist was so wrapped up in their own clearly skewed perception of the world. It's like a very cagey, scared, which is fair enough. The world's scary, but like the way they see it, it's like they're scared for the wrong reasons almost.
Yes.
It's like someone's aiming a gun at you, and then they call you a fucking retard, and what you get scared at is them calling you a retard.
Exactly. All right. Let Hussey finish.
Wait, I think like okay.
No, that was it.
All right. Hussey, your turn.
I think that I originally was like, I told Angie at one point, Angie, this is not a BPD game. And I think it actually is. I think this might be a rare case of male BPD, where, because it seems like this game is a pointed response.
The dev of
to
this uses
one.
she, they, by the way.
I don't know.
wanted like men.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go on,
This is
Hessa.
like a very so this is a BBD game. Now that it's she they, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely positively a game caused by BPD, because someone said something to them in a chat or something, or on voice chat in some MMO, and like said like a slur to them, called them like the T word, the F word, or something. And they were like, "This is the worst thing that's ever happened in the world."
Yeah.
And they were like, I can't even express how bad I feel right now. So I need to create a game to make people realize.
Angie, your thoughts?
How badly I feel.
All right, now to Angie.
And
here's the thing. I think that I actually slightly disagree with my initial assessment, because I feel like it is slightly BPD. I think that there's some BPD elements, but I actually think Hessa was actually kind of right in saying it's more autistic than BPD, because
I think it's both. I think it's
no, excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I think the issue with this is, like I was saying, I think this is probably a BPD game, because I was thinking this feels like, you know, a lot of art about the internet I've seen that comes from like LGBT adjacent people, where it's basically attempts at like recreating like the dynamics of internet communities, but it's always very, very skewed through a particular individual lens, where it's some stuff about like overblown incidents like rendered traumatic just by individual perception and just shit like that. And I was like, this is what this is going to be. But then it just goes into this stuff about like how the real issue is just that like the devs included like a fictional Nazi faction, so therefore now the game is filled with real Nazis.
Yeah.
And then like the furry sex thing didn't really feel like it legitimately, like it almost veered toward like that thing I was mentioning with like the stuff like the gaslighting and schizophrenia and whatnot. But after that, it just feels like, you know, as soon as you get to the point where it's just like the Nazis being like, I hate lol cows, I live to kill lol cows, and it's just like and just like having like a special church that's dedicated to like a video game player who decided to go Elliot Rodger.
That I fucking gasp at that part when it like that fucking But like that was like
reality.
Can I?
If this ever gets back to the dev, you gotta fucking change that part, because it was about a fucking dead person. Like I get it that like, especially when like I get that there are fucking people who like praise the Christchurch shooter and whatever, and I get that, but it's like at the same time that memorials like that for actual people who like added to the community and like added to World of Warcraft and everything, and they're honored that way. dude, you should like fucking think about it, man. Like, why would you? This fucking pisses me off. Just like, there's so many angles of this game that just like veer towards this one thing because like it just feels out of touch, but at the same time it goes towards places that just feel like it's made for a very specific audience. It's made for this audience that does not want to hear the Nazis actually say the N-word and whatever.
No, it's made for an audience of one. It's made for one person to see.
I mean, apparently this game has gotten like a good reception from like other people. So maybe
this is a video game adaptation of Tails Gets Trolled. It is like.
But sincere.
I think this is one of the most autistic. This is one of the most autistic games of all time.
It is like.
I do think someone called someone a lol cow back in like 2014 or something, and then this is the result.
All right, closing statements because.
I can understand like trying not to like. I can understand like trying not.
I never got to get my words.
Go ahead,
sir. Sir, go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm gonna err away from the mental illness discussion because it's already been beat to death. I want to focus more on the boogeymen here. It feels like the equivalent of like the art equivalent of telling a joke and getting way too mad before he gets the punchline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The right way to
I completely agree.
You could really tell throughout the game that they were throughout the development cycle of the game, they were making stuff up on the fly. Like, what did I see today that pissed me off? Like, you could really tell because like all the references and all the boogeymen are all over the place, ranging from the Elon Musk comment to Dan Crenshaw, all the way to Gamergate era SJW YouTube channels. It really goes to show you should never make art purely fueled by spite. It had so many grievances to air that the overall substance, it was substanceless. It had so much to say, it was left with nothing to say overall of worth in general. It has no nuance or substance to it. And furthermore, the fetish stuff seems way too specific to the point where it seems like a lived experience. Either they knew someone like that, or that's them themselves, and using a different fetish as an XP for them burning out a videotape. It's a bit weird to me.
Honestly, I think the fetish stuff was cool. I think that part was great.
The game should have just been the fetish stuff, in my opinion, because that seemed like the most cohesive aspect of it.
Because that was the only perspective there.
They made it during an incredible manic episode,
and they thought that it was getting everywhere. They thought they were on this universal consciousness, but the only parts that worked were the parts that were incredibly like grounded and down to earth.
That is exactly it. Everything about it was sincere, but the only thing that felt like there was any backing to it was the weird fetish stuff. That felt like it was the only part that was grounded in reality.
Like the climax, I felt like was them fucking. If that was the climax, that would be good. It would be like the game would be 10 times better, and that's like we would ignore so much shit if it was just them fucking. And
absolutely, we would have ended on a good note. We would have gone out on a laugh instead of just being confused.
What I would say is stick this project in the oven a little bit more. Try not to let everything that you're doing is everything writing wise shouldn't be fueled with whoever pissed me off today. Even if it's a small blurb, even if it's flavor text in the chat, it just drips and drips and drips of. It shows your ass a bit too much, you know. It feels like personal in a way that's not endearing or relatable to anybody else.
It is,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's like you can't come away with any feelings other than the developer is like a crybaby homo who pissed his pants, and everyone laughed at him once.
It's too much like a lived experience that is way too personalized for anyone to gain anything from it. So what I would say is paint in broader strokes rather than just lighting up a shot and like saying, I hate this person.
I feel very bad for what I said at this point.
I don't.
Because I'm like imagining the developer watching this, but I stand by it. Like,
Be more horny, but be less horny.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, my opinion is that, like, it could be improved because, like, you know...
You cut out. What was that?
Oh, sorry, I'm just being quiet because it's kind of late at night. The thing is that I think that, like, the lived experience angle is actually not necessarily a bad thing. I think that there could be a lot of interesting stuff done with lived experience angle, but at the same time, it's just like the issue is that it fails to like actually comprehend like the experience that it's trying to portray. It's like it's like when it portrays like the decline of the game, it relies too much on creating an enemy image. It's like, ooh, these like problematic like wannabe Nazi gamers, and it's like, yeah, but sure, are they really the cause of the issues plaguing the game, or are they just a symptom? Maybe there's some issues even in the quote-unquote less problematic players. Sometimes maybe there's more interpersonal issues that could be explored better than just like a ride with some furries, some fucking.
Yeah.
I'd be very, very interested in that angle. I mean, the furry characters we've seen were like interestingly weird and like kind of. I'd almost want to see more what they're like.
Yeah,
you know?
but it was very interesting that like I get it that like this little subgroup in a community like ruins the rest of the pile and everything. I get that, but it's also like some of these people like in that game were like walking stereotypes.
All right,
like,
wrap it up. I gotta end this stream. Thank you.
I got one more.
Yeah.
I want to close a comment.
Closing.
Go ahead.
All right, 1 minute.
Okay, I think sometimes when you try to make art, you go for this big sweeping statement, and you put all your heart into the statement, and then you only realize later on, or people only point out to you later on, that it was the little statements you made on the way to the greater statement that mattered, and that the greater statement itself was just completely incoherent, and that you have to go for the littler statements because those are the ones closer to you, and the big statement maybe you can do it in time, but not at this current moment because you just don't have like the wherewithal for it, or the understanding, or the approach to the medium, etc. That's all.
All right.
Yeah.
Playing off of one last thing, closing bell. Playing off of what Hussey said, I would say that even though we were a bit abrasive in our approach in criticizing this, I would say that this wasn't a complete gutterball of an attempt. That concept is interesting.
Absolutely.
I
want to see it done better. It's a great concept.
It was executed very well. Like
I would say
no.
I would
No.
I would say
no.
The
I mean,
the dev.
I mean, technically, it was very.
Okay, but
the dev didn't bowl a complete gutter ball. They hit about like 3 pins. You know, like it's there's something there, and I don't really think this has been really explored before. It's uncharted territory. But like Hussey said, like it's the little statements that matter rather than the big statement. This was a demo, and the dev just went all out saying this is what it is. There's Nazis, there's people that worship Freaky Elliot Roger and all that shit, and it's the smaller stuff.
Are you actually the dev for .zip?
Yeah, I legit like if I had like one word place, it'd just be more atmosphere and tone down the Nazi stuff.
Yeah. More nuance.
For the record, I'm gonna buy this. I'm probably gonna buy this game just on the record of it being like interesting. Like I suppose, but also
Probably not the dev.
Some of us are PMC who have infinite money, Liz.
I don't know. Like
Okay, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
We talked about this game more than any other thing, so it is good bad art, and I think that's interesting.
Sure. Oh wait, Dev's in the chat.
No, they're not.
Wow. Wait, really?
No, that's someone fucking. All right.
Thank God.
That's the end.
Thank fucking God, dude.
The dev probably has me blocked. Look, the develop. Okay, you guys were being too fucking nice. The developer of this game probably has us all blocked on Twitter. Okay, it's
Okay,
like.
cool. This is a small enough game. Like
for
everything
being
that we
Nosball.
said.
All right, you
Everything
were
that we said, it was going to go back to them anyway.
probably. I actually secretly made this game. I am the developer. No, I'm not.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
I broke the dam.
YouTube.com/Kimono Friendzone. This will be all up on there. If you missed any of it, go and watch. Go subscribe. Good night, everyone.
Including the furry part.
Follow me on Twitch. I just posted it.
Zero Suit Camus. Follow Liz too.
I
Liz
broke
is
the
very
dam.
underappreciated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Follow
gonna
Liz.
advertise.
All right.
Alright, we're doing it now. There we go. There's your submarine right back there.
Titan, we'll get squared away and start bringing you guys on board.
Oh, they were.
There's really nothing that happens that requires an immediate response. Okay, so if you hear an alarm, just don't worry about it. The best thing you can do is don't do anything.
I heard something.
You guys still got fire contact?
Yes. Some kind of object. Yeah, there's something coming up. Something is coming up to starboard.
I've reflected a lot at my time there, and my time there was not normal. I mean, I think back to the times where I was a part of dives that happened, and thinking back how uncomfortable I felt bolting people into the sub. And so when that initial news article popped up and it said tourist sub lost in the Atlantic, I knew right away it was Ocean Gate.
The US Coast Guard says it is bringing all assets to bear in the search for a missing submersible off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada.
Its last location ping was directly above the wreck of the Titanic. A frantic search now underway for the vessel, with oxygen fast running out.
I got a text from one of my colleagues at Submarine Rescue. At that point, I felt sick to the stomach. Everything that I gave to the authorities everything that had happened to me, everything that I'd seen, my concerns. There was nothing I left out. They should have acted on it.
Good afternoon.
Nothing was done.
This is an incredibly complex search operation. The surface search is now approximately 2 times the size of Connecticut, and the subsurface search is up to 2.5 miles deep.
The search and rescue teams are working in incredibly challenging conditions.
It was last heard from an hour and 45 minutes into its dive, but OceanGate not sounding the alarm for another several hours.
As of yesterday, there were 2 C-130s that conducted search and rescue flights. By later today, an Air National Guard C-130 will also join the search.
My phone blew up just from folks sending me clips, articles. I would get a text, have you heard? What do you think? But then I knew we'd be sitting here one day. And here we are.
Almost right away, there was some back and forth texting between old coworkers and myself. One of them replied and said, "It's actually really happening."
Our thoughts and prayers are with the crew of the Titan and their loved ones. We will continue to work as hard and as quickly as possible in an effort to locate them. I will take a few questions.
It was a worldwide story all of a sudden.
Außerdem der Chef des Veranstalters OceanGate.
消息不明になっている潜水艇タイタンですが、
I mean, this is truly the stuff of nightmares. It's unimaginable what the people in there are going through.
I didn't really know how to talk about it. I didn't know everyone on board, but I knew Stockton well.
5 people are on board, including the OceanGate CEO, Stockton Rush, as well as 58-year-old British aviation billionaire Hamish Harding.
Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dayoud and his son Suleiman are also on board. And we understand French explorer Paul-Henri Nagelet, often referred to as Mr. Titanic, is also on the vessel.
What did you do first?
J'ai pleuré. Pendant 10 minutes, j'ai beaucoup pleuré, j'ai eu très peur.
Do you remember which authorities contacted you?
Les gardes-côtes américains.
In the last 2 hours, the US Coast Guard's confirmed that a Canadian aircraft detected underwater noises.
Yesterday, a Canadian P-3 detected underwater noises in the search area. As a result, ROV operations were relocated in an attempt to explore the origin of the noises.
C'était réconfortant de voir que... Alors, au moment des recherches, toutes les familles ont pensé qu'ils allaient les trouver. Tous, vraiment, on y croyait, on avait de l'espoir. Tout devait se faire très rapidement, mais bon, à ce moment-là, personne ne parlait comme s'ils allaient trouver des débris.
The story had the ingredients. It had Titanic. It had billionaires. It had running out of time.
Officials now believe it's down to less than 2 days' worth of breathable air.
The news had an oxygen countdown in the corner. And it was really hard to go on any sort of media.
The search for the missing submersible, which was on its way to the wreck of the Titanic, has already covered an area nearly the size of Wales.
Court documents show that a former employee sued the company in 2018, claiming
Time really has become the most precious commodity.
I definitely doom-scrolled a good while. My friends were checking in on me, making sure that I wasn't on my phone for too long.
I didn't do fucking shit! What if all of this is actually a ploy to keep people from visiting the Titanic wreckage? But if that's the goal, why?
It's hard to put into words. And I felt a lot of different feelings, including anger. It was a very weird week. But even the first day, the general assumption was the worst.
the Coast Guard has officially convened a Marine Board of Investigation into the loss of the submersible and the 5 people on board. That investigation will be led by Chief Investigator Captain Jason Neubauer.
I was just about to retire from the Coast Guard, but I absolutely wanted this case because it was so unique that when the Admiral asked me if I would do it, I immediately said yes.
You can see a blue ship. It's called Polar Prince that took the submersible Titan out to sea. This ship is flagged in Canada. There will be representatives from the safety board there to receive them.
When something like this happens, the first thing you want to check for is jurisdiction. Anybody who has the flag state of a vessel involved in an incident automatically has jurisdiction.
The deadly implosion involved the American-made OceanGate Titan sub, which launched from a Canadian ship in international waters. So this is a complicated multinational investigation.
The Titan was not flagged by any foreign nation or a U.S. state. That was very unusual. Never seen that before.
You've never seen that?
No, in 26 years of doing investigations. So,
how does that happen?
I think it happens by design.
Can we start with the lights off and turn them on?
Sure.
What else can you show me in here?
We have external lights here, so I think they hooked up? They look like they are. This is our oxygen system, so this is the bottle you use for normal operation, and all of these are emergency, the ones that are in red, so that's 4 days of emergency oxygen. Pilot's back here, and he's typically back here like this with 2 displays, so he can fly off of one.
And how do you drive it?
With this controller.
He was a humble human being, but he was an arrogant scientist for sure. Like, he knew he was smart. There was no doubt about it. He knew he was a genius even. Just the way he was talking, the confidence, he was a very confident person, right? That, like, he says things with conviction, he tells you what he's gonna do, and he tells you why it works. The way he says it makes you go like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
I think we made great progress in the 60s and 70s on manned ocean exploration, and it died off for a lot of explainable but illogical reasons.
I have long felt that undersea exploration is not an end in itself. To enter this great unknown medium is the privilege of our era.
Most scientists get involved in marine biology because they want to go in the ocean. They're interested in the ocean, and they have a passion for it. Even if I gave you a 3D representation of the Grand Canyon and piped in the smell of sagebrush, it won't replace being there.
Down here, we can clearly hear the squeaks and clicks of the dolphins.
Being able to hear and see and feel the entire environment is something you can't duplicate.
They needed more exposure. That's where we came along. The stuff they were making was very basic. So the idea was make us videos so we can catch the attention of people, right? They had wild ideas like they want to take Pearl Jam in the submarine, or he talks about some floating city that could also submerge. Stockton used to say, accessibility is ownership. If there's a small island in the middle of the ocean and you're the only one who can access it, doesn't matter who owns it, you have ownership over it because you have the accessibility to get to it. And he truly believed in that.
Hello, I'm Stockton Rush, and I was the pilot today on a dive to look at trawl sites off of Friday Harbor.
I first met Stockton when OceanGate was getting off the ground in Seattle. They were actually more focused on science and education, primarily in Puget Sound.
Check, over. Read you loud and clear, topside, how me?
But in 2015, things started to change.
If you ever wanted to visit the wreck of the Titanic, well, your opportunity is coming. Tourists will be able to participate in the first submersible expedition to the Titanic since 2005. Mr. Rush, thanks for this today.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
At the time, I was probably the only person on the planet that he knew that had run expeditions to Titanic before.
2.5 miles beneath the ocean surface lies the wreck of the Titanic.
There she is. That is unbelievable.
We're an expedition company. We had delivered around 150, 160 people to Titanic.
Why has it taken so long for something like this to come about? Because as you know, there's a lot of interest even to this day in the Titanic.
Yes, I don't think many people appreciate there are only 4 manned submersibles that can get to the depth of the Titanic.
Titanic is a huge draw card.
I'm actually flying a remotely operated vehicle, and this is Gilligan. I don't know if you can see him there. He's the green sort of toaster on steroids.
I mean, even now, over 100 years after she sank, she just captures people.
People are so enthralled with Titanic. I read an article that said there are 3 words in the English language that are known throughout the planet, and that's Coca-Cola, God, and Titanic.
Stockton saw an opportunity to restart tourist visits to Titanic.
I'll hand it over.
There was discussion about how we would market those expeditions, how we would process paying clients, what the experience would look like, and how we would build and grow the product.
CEO Stockton Rush and his team will be the first since 2005 to see the site. Civilians paying the inflated price of first-class passage on the Titanic's maiden voyage.
You're there with a mission, so if somebody comes with us, they're going to work on operating the sonar.
But first the idea was to build a team.
As soon as I finished school, I joined the Royal Navy. I ended up working as a commercial diver, ROV pilot, and I've been involved in submersibles for 20 plus years now.
This is L5. Kilo, kilo, kilo. Roger, L5, hard seal.
My wife Carol, she actually saw an advert online at the time, and she said they're looking for somebody to fulfill the position of Director of Marine Operations.
A girlfriend of mine happened upon their website and sent it to me and said, "Wow, look at this, isn't this cool?" I started diving in 2013 and I fell in love with it. So I basically was cyber stalking OceanGate for a while, and lo and behold, a bookkeeping job came up.
I was just on LinkedIn one day on the ferry and came across this company that was building submersibles in my backyard. And I thought, I love building stuff. Started in the Navy as a deep sea diver. I studied material science at UC Berkeley.
Rolling. Excellent. Okay.
They're looking for a technician.
It was a significant pay cut. I'm a CPA and I knew I'd be overqualified, but to be able to combine not only what I'm trained to do, but what my passion is, I mean, that sounds like a dream job to me.
The whole time we worked with OceanGate, everybody was privileged to be there, felt like they were special to be there.
As you can see here, we've got the manned submersible Cyclops. This is a 5-man submersible. It's got a maximum operating depth of 500 meters. The submersible itself... I was going to be running the submersible projects themselves. They had 2 existing subs, Cyclops 1 and Antipodes, and they had the build of Titan, which was exciting.
I just felt like I was drawn in to actually do something that potentially nobody had ever done before.
Thanks very much. You may have seen in the write-up of this that I wanted to be an astronaut. That's why I got an engineering degree. I watched Star Trek, Star Wars, and I wanted to see those alien life forms. And eventually I realized that all the cool stuff that I thought was out there is actually underwater. And in fact...
Stockton Rush was definitely a salesman. I got the impression that he wanted to do things differently to be different. Anybody with the right amount of money can build a sub and go down to Titanic, but he was doing it differently.
The goal was, where do you want to go in the ocean? What is the most known site in the ocean? And it's clearly the Titanic. And to go to the Titanic, which is at 3,800 meters, requires a special sub.
His underwater vessel, now under construction, will be able to carry 5 people to the Titanic, more than 2 miles down.
Where is your excitement factor on this?
Oh, definitely an 11. It is.
Every submersible is different. Some are made of steel, some are made of acrylic, some are made of titanium. But this is the first time a design like this, with a carbon fiber hull, was going to be used at those depths. So it was all unknown, completely unknown.
This is APL, the Applied Physics Laboratory at the University of Washington in Seattle.
With APL, they worked on the mechanical stuff and the control system with the PlayStation controllers. We even had an office down there. I'd go once or twice a week.
With APL being on board, I had a level of comfort. But the big appeal for myself to go over to this project was that the vehicle was going to be getting classed.
When we say something is classed, we're essentially saying that a third-party agency has independently certified it as safe. The analogy would be, if you decide to build a home-built aircraft, you can take yourself and your friends in it so long as nobody pays money. But the minute you want to transport fare-paying passengers in the vehicle, you need to get it certified by an independent agency. In the marine world, that would be called getting the vehicle classed.
They look at design, they look at build, they look at annual inspections on these things. OceanGate's other 2 subs had been classed. So with this whole vision of going to Titanic with this new sub that was meant to be getting classed, what's not to appeal?
Rush says his submersible is one of the safest forms of transportation in the world.
By the time we're done testing it, I believe it's pretty much invulnerable.
And that's pretty much what they said about the Titanic.
That's right. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
We do the hearing in the form of a trial. It looks like a court setting.
Good morning, Mr. Nissen.
Morning, sir.
All of my questions are related to your background and then your experience with OceanGate as a director of engineering.
Sure, sounds good.
Several investigators asked the questions. Every witness in this instance has the right to counsel. Also participating in the hearing are the parties in interest, and in this case, we had OceanGate attorneys. You want to get to the facts, and that's the primary goal of a hearing. Cut through the rumors and get to actually what happened.
In what year did you begin working with OceanGate?
March of 2016.
And in March of 2016, what were you hired on as?
The director of engineering.
And what were your roles and responsibilities in that job as the director of engineering?
I was pitched by OceanGate that
The Cyclops 2 craft was nearly complete. I was going to put together the parts and then just start executing it. And so my apologies, that's my watch telling me I have an abnormally high heart rate. I was originally asked to just finish this. It was going to be a year, and that's it.
And how would you describe the workplace environment when you started with the company?
The first week was great.
We've studied Mr. Rush and his leadership style, so I feel like we have a good understanding of how he ran the business.
Meaning, what exactly?
Well, he took a lot of employment actions in front of others. You know, it wasn't behind the scenes. I think people knew if you challenged the boss on some of these issues, that there was a possibility you'd be gone.
During my time there, and I'm not sure exactly when it dawned on me, but the business model didn't start to make sense to me. We didn't have an income stream. He said that they were going to flag the Titan in the Bahamas and launch out of Canada so that they wouldn't fall under U.S. jurisdiction, but that if the Coast Guard became a problem, that he would buy himself a congressman and make it go away.
Mr. McCoy, is that a direct quote?
He said I would buy a congressman. I've never had anybody say that to me directly, and I was aghast, and basically after that, I resigned from the company, and I couldn't work there anymore.
In those early days, he was quite easy to get in contact with, was very approachable. And I was very interested in what they were planning to do, which was kind of democratize ocean exploration. Got in touch with the company, I talked with Stockton, and then he invited me to come on their prototype vessel. Stockton was a typical startup entrepreneur. I've met many of them, dozens over the years, hundreds probably.
Where did this guy come from? Like, what do you know about Stockton Rush?
You know, he came from privilege. There's no doubt about that. He was a graduate of Princeton. Not the strongest student academically, but he obviously got an engineering degree. He built his own airplane from a kit, and that's a plane he would fly for many years afterward. Later, he even built a kit submersible. You know, very confident, full of enthusiasm. Both Stockton and his wife Wendy were from generational wealth. In fact, Stockton could actually trace his ancestry all the way back to two signers of the Declaration of Independence.
How do you read us? We read you loud and clear. How do you read us? When you speak slowly, just fine. We are going to lip fast.
His wife Wendy, she was the great-great-granddaughter of two people who actually perished on the Titanic. The Strausses had formed a mercantile empire that actually resulted in such household names as the Macy's department store. So Stockton was definitely part of the 1%.
Stockton could be a very awkward person, and if he wasn't happy with somebody, he was very vocal, very vocal.
I have emails that were supplied to me by an anonymous source that shows how he dealt with people in his organization. And there was plenty there that was concerning.
I had started hearing some stories about Stockton's temper. He seemed to be very defensive whenever anybody asked questions that were pointed.
Are you aware of any dives where
he would blame everything on everybody else? He came across, even initially, as quite arrogant.
It all really started with the idea that there had to be some kind of business opportunity in exploring the ocean. To me, that's where we're going to have cities before we have them up in space.
On the moon?
Yeah.
That is so cool. And there are so many incredible minerals.
He wanted to be a Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk.
It is a fixer-upper of a planet. But eventually you can transform Mars into an Earth-like planet.
How would you do that?
He referred to those guys as big swinging dicks, and he loved that term and used it all the time. He was using OceanGate and how OceanGate was different with the carbon fiber from anybody else in the industry. If he could pull this off, he could be a big swinging dick too.
Would you describe Titan, based on the information that you know, as an experimental manned submersible?
Yeah, but it was an experimental submersible that they had already taken deposits to go to the Titanic in.
I was hesitant to tell my wife and my family what I was doing because I was still a little bit skeptical. If I tell them, they're going to be worried. So I didn't want to put them through that. You could tell that Stockton was in charge. It was his operation.
Okay, you got it? Take what you get on the back.
We have clients that are Titanic enthusiasts, which we refer to as Titaniacs. A lot of our mission specialists are also space people. It differs in a significant way in that we actively seek the involvement of the mission specialists who come out with us.
So, head call for the mission specialists. Dive checks, we're at 4. Pre-brief now, we're just a few minutes.
The term mission specialist is a workaround. There are some rules about operating vessels at sea. Those rules differ depending on whether you are a crew member or you're a paying passenger.
There are things that are maybe less critical. For example, reviewing video content. You know, you're not going to hurt anybody if you mess that up. But we have our mission specialists closing the dome. Well, that's pretty critical.
Stockton was trying to confuse that, insisting that nobody was ever referred to as a passenger.
Colin Taylor, mission specialist.
Richard Taylor, mission specialist.
It was just one of the steps that OceanGate took to make sure that they could work around US legislation.
There's certain things that you want to be buttoned down, and that's the pressure vessel. You know, once the pressure vessel is, you're certain it's not going to collapse on everybody, everything else can fail.
One of the things that impressed me is the total transparency. In all of the documentation, it was very straightforward that you're, basically signing your life away.
I've got to say, being one of the first to go to the bottom of the ocean in an experimental sub sounds frightening.
Well, you're not alone. A lot of people have said that to me, but I felt confident. I felt confident in both Stockton and in PH. PH had been there 37 times, and he knows, everything about the Titanic and a whole lot about submersibles and diving.
Each dive is a new experience. Each dive is a new adventure because you never see the same thing exactly.
This is an elite French research vessel. George Tulloch is the expedition leader. Tulloch's company, RMS Titanic, is responsible for conserving the historic ocean liner. To coordinate the expedition, Tulloch has chosen P.H. Nargeolet, a former French Navy commander.
J'apprécie beaucoup le Titanic, mais c'est vrai qu'aussi il m'a pris beaucoup de temps, mon papa. Alors quand j'étais petite, nous vivions dans le sud de la France. Mon père n'était pas souvent à la maison parce qu'il était souvent en déplacement avec la marine. Il faisait beaucoup de missions en mer. Il découvrait de nouveaux objets, il pouvoir récupérer les objets et puis les protéger. C'était sa passion, le travail.
Brody, Horizon Cadet, and Ocean Gate intern.
Steve, mission media and marketing and general ops support.
PH subcrew.
No.
Most experienced submersible pilot nearly in the world now. That's who you
Bravo.
are.
Et il ne travaillait pas pour Ocean Gate, je préfère le dire. Il était invité. Ça, c'est important.
There was a certain amount of anticipation. They call it the abyss for a reason.
How far is the way?
I'll see. 500 meters.
When we're coming across the floor, all of a sudden there's this big wall, and that was surreal. It was, oh my God, that's it.
We are alongside the hull now. Right.
There's the bow.
Yeah, I can see the bow.
Oh wow, look there. It's is that the telegraph or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are all the plaques. Yeah.
And the plaques, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a million things running through my head, but the main thing was that I'm actually here seeing this. This was incredible. And I'll never forget that.
It's an incredible view more people are getting a chance to see up close. This expedition included nationally and world-renowned scientists, explorers, and Titanic experts. Leading the charge on this expedition is OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush. How do you feel?
Well, I think how I felt right when we were done, which was exhausted. And now I'm just...
I was really happy for them. I wanted them to succeed because their goal was noble.
Today we're getting some new first images from historic dive by OceanGate founder.
And we are pleased to say that the CEO and founder, Stockton Rush, joins us live from Connecticut with more. Stockton, this is incredible.
I didn't really have a chance to absorb it until I got back to the ship. When I got to the surface was this amazing thing, because it had been 12 years I've been working to do this, and to get there was great.
We do have to acknowledge that he did do what he set out to do. He took a carbon fiber sub to the Titanic.
Yes, that is true. But there was no way of knowing when it was going to fail, but it was a mathematical certainty that it would fail. So having a dive or 2 or 10 to Titanic is not a measure of success.
You see him there?
And personally, I will never understand how it survived the first test dives. The investigation will show that there was some switching of hulls about halfway through the process because the earlier one did fail.
Today we'll be doing our third pressure test of the carbon fiber hull. Reasonably, we would like to get to 6,000 psi, which is 4,100 meters. But there's a non-zero probability that it may implode, as it did in the first test that we did.
They did multiple tests because they were testing the depth. How deep can we go?
I knew it was new materials they were going to be using, the carbon fiber. I knew nothing about carbon fiber until I moved across. Nothing.
Carbon fiber is essentially string made from carbon. It's coated in a glue or a resin to hold it together.
Lined up.
Carbon fiber is very, very strong, and it's a lighter and cheaper material.
It's in many new systems, many new products. People are using it for lots of reasons because it's really light, really strong.
When I looked at the cost of operating a sub, it's the ship. The two things that drive the cost of submersible operations. It's not the replenishing the oxygen or the carbon dioxide scrubber. That's nothing. It's all about the ship, and the next most important thing is mobilization. How do you get the stuff from one location to another? That's 90% of your cost.
If you were to build a 5-person sub out of steel and titanium, it would be extremely large, it would be extremely heavy. You'd need something enormous to lift it out of the water, to carry it.
What about these ones I'm holding right now? They don't have a left thick. This guy doesn't go any higher than where it is.
If you can realize that dream of a carbon fiber submersible, you can drop the price, you can suddenly have fleets of these submersibles operating around the world.
Okay, now what? He's got to do all that? Yeah.
It's not like metal. You know, titanium is extremely well understood. Carbon fiber is far more idiosyncratic in that the little fibers inside there can snap. That snap, that actually creates a sound.
We have the acoustic sensors. If we have carbon fiber that snaps, we can pick that up in the acoustics.
Anytime a fiber snaps, that weakens the structure, as you can imagine.
If an individual strand of fiber cracks, if carbon cracks inside the hull, this hopefully will detect that crack, which is indicative of structural failure.
Got some fuzz.
This was called the acoustic monitoring system. It was basically an array of microphones all over the hull that listened for each of those fibers breaking. The sound of that carbon fiber snapping, OceanGate believed, could actually be used to determine whether it was about to fail the whole structure. In 2021, their website claimed that their real-time monitoring is an unparalleled safety feature, so that anyone inside that submersible would get a forewarning. They'd have time to stop their descent to surface safely.
We hope that we hear nothing. That would be ideal, that we hear nothing and that, you know, the structure is perfectly sound the whole way through the test.
How did you get involved with OceanGate?
So they had contacted somebody at Boeing. So both myself and the other gentleman, Jake, work for Boeing.
Connecting with Boeing helped a lot. Carbon fiber was something these Boeing engineers understood, and they were just based literally, you know, steps away from OceanGate's headquarters in Everett, Washington. So the Boeing team there in 2013 created a concept design document. It was a pretty hefty document, like 70 pages, I think. In that document, I would say they had set out a path or a roadmap to build such a vessel. But these Boeing engineers were very concerned about the possible performance of the carbon fiber hull.
The purpose for this test is we've scaled the hull down to about 1/4 of the size, the full-size model. We assemble it, we put all our instrumentation in it, we run it, put it into the chamber, and it simulates taking that hull down to the depth that we want to go. Stable?
Yeah, we're stable. We're good.
John, you ready? 1500? Go ahead.
Each one of these pulses is some kind of an event in the hull. Epoxy settling or a strand breaking, hopefully not breaking, but...
What's our pressure, John?
You're at 3,500.
4?
Yeah.
Let's go to 4.
Where are we now?
There we are. Huh. What do you think, Dave? Let's just see how she settles down, but that's a lot of events.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Okay.
Where did it go to?
Went to 4,000. Yeah, about 4,009. So at least you know acoustic monitoring works.
Well, yeah, but yeah, the fact that we didn't even get to the last pressure we did last time. Okay. That solves a lot.
That day, they were super excited, and when it exploded, they got pissed.
Yeah, right here.
That's it.
Stockton, he had that vibe of like, everything is gonna work out. Like, we got this.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, something implode, explode.
Wow. Okay. I think it was around 3,000 psi. We started to see a little bit of acoustic activity on one of the hemispheres, and it got worse. And when we stopped at 4,000 psi, the whole thing failed. So the good news is we started to see evidence of failure before it happened, which is one of the test objectives, to validate the acoustic monitoring and see if you can predict failure. All tests are good tests. That came out different.
Extra piece of guard.
It is.
It's a regular Texas wallet.
The monitoring system for the hull was something that was dreamt up by OceanGate in order to try and give some comfort to people who are asking too many questions.
After we set the threshold to 2,000, now here we have a bunch of events that have happened here on a number of different data channels. So right now it's been relatively quiet at 6,000. So we're going to go up to 6,500. And if we start seeing some events, we'll stop.
You know, if I have a ski made of carbon or composite material, and I'm putting pressure on the ski and you can hear it creaking and cracking, you don't actually know when it's going to snap.
I would say that was it.
Can I stop now?
Yeah, I think so.
So you're listening to this thing screaming, you're listening to it stressing and telling you that it's under immense pressure, but it can't tell you when it's going to fail.
The Boeing engineers sent Stockton an analysis of that hull, forces exerted on the hull as it would go deeper and deeper, that had a skull and crossbones at the depth just below, where a Titanic would be sitting. It was quite a telling sign to me that their concerns went pretty deep.
And why did OceanGate and Boeing stop working together?
I don't know exactly, I think maybe we were too expensive.
Even when it was obvious that Boeing wasn't going to build the sub, Stockton kind of had the recipe book. And then I think Stockton realized that he needed some engineering expertise in-house. You couldn't contract everything out to University of Washington, APL.
As the director of engineering, did you make all engineering decisions?
No.
Did you make any engineering decisions?
Yes.
And who would make the majority of the engineering decisions?
It was Stockton. Most people would just eventually back down from Stockton. Like it was almost death by 1,000 cuts.
So Tony came on board, I think, 2016. He centralized a lot of the engineering expertise and hired other engineers